Welcome into the Canister Podcast, episode number 298, fueled by First Form, baby.
Yeah. Yoink.
I am nasal today.
Me too.
I am very under the weather. I'm not under the weather, but I've been going hard. I'm on quite the run right now.
I know.
So.
Hanging out with your the wife's family and all that stuff over the weekend. It's tough going. It's a tough going. But I came in here sneezing, Maddie. I was sneezing my ass off, and I'm like, man, it's a new influx of allergies? I think it is. All this rain and shit like that, getting all that stuff off the trees.
Dude, don't be sneezing in here.
I'm not. There was hardcore rain in St. Louis area. Dude, my backyard, not my backyard, but where that where the creek is way back there, would look like the Merrimack River the other day. I mean, I thought it was going to fuck this golf course up so bad. Didn't.
You know why you're sick?
Didn't.
Because you're at that Hoosier-ass lake all weekend long. I can only imagine how contaminated your body is
I didn't get
right
water.
now. I hope not. What color was that?
Dude, there's people swimming everywhere, man.
Well,
there's a lot
yeah,
smarter,
that's my point,
wealthier people than you down there.
No,
okay.
yeah.
Dude, there's $1,000,000 houses everywhere. There are Hoosiers down there, man. It is what it is. Don't get me wrong. The scariest thing down there is what? What did I tell you? Always.
Probably the intoxicated boat drivers. No, that's one of them.
I would say the
The
13,
STDs,
three girls.
the STDs.
No, get out of here. 3 girls on a jet ski in the main channel, not knowing where they're going. If you're on a boat and you're cruising, you can navigate other boats. You know where they're going. You slide this way, they slide this way. Andy doesn't know because he has other people drive for him. But whenever you're out there, the scariest thing when it's crowded is these kids on jet skis because they're sporadic. They're like this. Where do I go? Boom. They're this way and all of a sudden they go this way and all of a sudden because it's such an easy turning radius. But when you're boating, man, the other boats you could kind of guide and do your thing. But we had a good time. It was crazy down there. We need to go down there and have a little powwow with a couple of my family members anyway. So I had to do what I had to do. It was nice. But it was weird, man. We were sitting on a dock one time, Andy. And then we're like we're just chilling, listening to music. And I'm like, got the binoculars out, just kind of creeping a little bit. And I see like a huge traffic jam way out there. I'm like, whoa, what's that? And we kind of just got back like 40 minutes ago. We look out there, man, DWI check. They had a D-dub check right in the middle of the man channel. He's on the 11, which is right in the heart of everything. If you guys know Lake Ozarks, the mile marker 11, right there, dude. You're right there. A lot of traffic going by. And we look out there, dude, this DWI check was miles long. Funneling every...
That sounds terrible. Nick Foligno's laughing at you right now. They don't have that in Sudbury right now. They don't have that in Sudbury.
Hey, listen, I love those guys, but Sudbury, I mean, it is what it is.
Beautiful lake.
Yeah, no, I know.
Clean water,
but
too.
It's freezing cold. I mean, it is what it is. I've been to Sudbury and I played up there. You know, it is what it is. But my point is, you wait in line. I'm thinking every single one of those guys are drunk. Every single one of them. Who do you pick out? The crackhead? Who do you pick out? Every one of them, because there was fireworks going on. So they had all these fireworks going to the lake, and then everybody's trying to get home, and they funnel everybody in this DWI check, and I'm thinking, every single one. Maybe there's a couple drivers, but even if you rent a driver down there, they're doing their own thing too. You know what I mean? For the most part.
That's on them.
I can't believe who they arrest. How many people can you possibly arrest?
Do they actually take them to jail?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Really?
It's a big deal. A BUI is just like a DUI.
What does that cost to get out of
a
that?
lot.
Like how much?
I don't know. A lot.
Are there like billboards for lawyers everywhere?
Yep.
You get a BWI, you call me.
The lake was nasty looking too for a while there.
So dirty.
I know.
Dude,
Listen,
you picked the worst weekend to go.
I had to do what I had to do. We were fine.
What do you mean you had to?
Did you see my video driving around with this badass double
You
shirt
finally
on?
did something.
Yeah, but that was in the morning.
You finally did something for the brand.
Dude, we're going out in the evening, and Andy, you're like, just bam, he's got a 38-footer. And we're still like, bam, 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 trying to navigate through everything because I want to see my old cabin and stuff like that. It was a pain in the ass to get around, dude. That's 4th of July weekend. It is a bad time.
Where'd you get the fuel and all that? Like, you go to the gas station, and then you got to fill it up. How much does it cost?
Andy doesn't know how to have a conversation.
How much does it cost to fill up a boat?
Depends on what kind of engines you have.
What kind of engine?
His probably $300-400 an engine.
An engine?
Yeah.
How many engines are in there? Oh, really?
Yep. So a couple hundred an engine, I would say, for his.
To fill it for the whole
turn
thing?
your fucking phone off.
Well, there's
Jesus
a lot of stuff
Christ.
going on.
Is there? No, there's not.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Turn your phone off. Don't be rude. But we had a good time, man. I do love it down there. I was born and raised down there. But Andy.
Born and raised?
Yeah, dude.
You were born there on the lake?
I was conceived down there, I should say. I was conceived.
I mean, you say that was such a badge of honor. It's very interesting. I can't wait to go down there one day.
You ain't going down there.
Well, we're talking about it.
It's not your style. You don't. I mean, maybe, yeah, go check it out. You want to go down when it's not that packed, it's cool.
When is that?
Weekday, you know. But if I'm you, I'd go to Table Rock Lake. We have a lot of lakes in Missouri. Not like you guys up in Canada. Canada has more lakes than any other country in the world.
It's not that many. You got to drive.
Canada has more lakes than any other country in the world. Beautiful lakes. That Sudbury Lake that Big Nicky and Big Marcus are on, it's way more beautiful than Lake of the Ozarks because there's so much going on at the lake. That's our party scene. That's not a party scene. A lot of people like the party scene. There's bars and restaurants everywhere, man. If you want to escape the party scene, you can, but it's all there.
Did you go to Party Cove?
Fuck no. No. We just cruise. It's just
Party Cove. What goes on there?
Partying. What they do at Party Cove is they line up boats, badass boats for freaking half a mile, quarter mile. And what you do is you have this little turn where you take your boat. My mom and dad and our family used to take our boat and we cruise around there in the 90s. And you go through this little area where they have like a thing where you could just view everything that's going on. Girls are getting naked, doing this. And it's like my mom would be like, "Why are we doing this, Denny?" to my dad. And my dad just wanted to show us.
Would your parents take you to Party Cove?
Yeah.
Girls with like snake tattoos going down their thigh.
Hey, swingers everywhere. Women, you could just, who's who. Like, it's just funny. Kate and I used to go down there years ago when I was playing, and you could tell who wanted to hang out with us in a certain way. Fuck yeah.
There's been a lot of swinging that I've been hearing about recently.
It's actually pretty big.
It's becoming a big thing.
I don't know if
Are you familiar with it?
I'm not into it, man. Like, we've had people ask us to do it, even where we're like.
How do they ask?
Hey, man.
They put like the pineapple out front.
Or she goes to her, and they just talk.
What does she say?
Hey, like, what do you guys want to get down with?
Like, hey, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you want to get down with it? That's what they say?
I'll give you an example. I had somebody come up to me and say, God, Cam, the other day, me and so-and-so and so-and-so, we did this. And then
really?
I go, really? He goes, would you, after a little bit of would you want to do that with Kate? And I'm like, nah.
So he's asking you to participate with him and his wife.
Yep.
In a foursome?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Dude.
I don't want him touching.
Oh my God.
I don't want him touching.
I mean, I don't know how you have the audacity to even ask that.
It was more subtle than you think.
Okay, well.
It was more subtle than you think.
There's been more about like couples hanging together, wives banging husbands, husbands banging wives. There's a lot of that going on, and nobody knows.
What do you mean no one knows?
It goes on for Cam. It goes on for years and years and years.
Nobody
knows.
If you want to look up who does this and who doesn't do it, you could find people all over the internet.
Okay, but do you understand when I say nobody knows?
Nobody knows what?
Like all of a sudden, it's like the secret, they get busted.
Oh, they're cheating on each other?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant this was all consensual.
With friends.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that happens everywhere, man. Your wife leaves, they're hanging out with a certain couple a lot. Like, she's doing stuff alone.
Yeah.
Just like I always say, I've said this before, Andy. All these guys, it's so funny. Some guys on the radio, some guys here, and they're like, I want my wife to have sex with that beautiful. I want my wife to have a lesbian interaction with this good looking. And I'm thinking, your little dinky ass, she's going to touch that beautiful woman. That beautiful woman's going to touch her back. And all of a sudden, she's going to start going on trips with her. She's going to do this, she's going to do that.
Could you imagine?
And you think they want to go back to your little dink? She touched a beautiful woman and a beautiful woman's body, man. You're going to reconnect that? You're fucking crazy.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
You're crazy.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
You're crazy. She's gonna start going on all these. She's my best friend now. No, they're fucking each other. She's fucking her because she likes her more than you.
They don't even know.
She likes her more than you because you wanted to have them have sex.
What if your best friend, you found out, had been banging your wife?
Oh God.
For like 10 years, and you didn't even know.
Just divorced. I mean, you divorced.
No, I mean.
Well, you're aloof. You are aloof.
Think?
How can you not know that? For 10 years? How do you not know that? That means you have your head in the sand.
Close to 10 years.
That means you guys have an agreement where you're doing stuff. That means you have, yes. You think, like, I couldn't do it if I wanted to. How can she not know I'm gone for this time? She knows my fucking schedule. She knows everything. So all of a sudden, Kate started hanging out with a guy. And she's gone all the time, and she's spending the night out, and she's doing. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
going on vacations without
me?
me?
He's your best friend.
Yeah, but then how do you not know that?
She's close with his wife.
Yeah, but how do you not know that? I look at some of those stories.
Some of these things have happened.
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
Andy, it happens all the time. I don't know why this all got brought up. Oh yeah, I guess the Lake of the Ozarks stuff, but I would think that you should figure it out. How do you not know that? You could look at somebody, Andy, if you had a relationship, like say you and Maddie had a relationship together.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, there's no one else in the room.
Why are you trying to include me and Maddie?
If I walk,
can you use some other examples?
Okay, fine.
Use another example.
Sorry, if Lori was hanging out.
Oh my God, my wife, dude. Use a different example than that.
Okay, no, I have to. What if Lori was hanging out with the guy, your neighbor, who doesn't cut his grass? That's really, really smart. Praveen. And all of a sudden, Lori's like, "What's Praveen up to today?" And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. And all of a sudden you come home and they're talking in the driveway. When you pull in, you're like, "Hi, Praveen. Hi." And you're like, okay, just little subtle things.
How's the okra coming along?
And all of a sudden she's like, all of a sudden, like she brings up Praveen again and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you keep like, what the fuck are you doing, Praveen? Now she's over there hanging out.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you go.
Okay. I wish we didn't start playing this game.
I'm just
I don't even like this game. We got to change it right now.
I'm just
this is not where I thought this was going to go.
I just don't understand how you wouldn't know it. How you couldn't figure that out. Because again, like if they walked in the room.
But that's a next door neighbor. It's not always the next door neighbor.
But if you went into a room and if your wife was cheating on you with another guy in that room, and you're looking at your wife, and she's looking at you, could tell if she looks at him, like they'll have that connection.
Really?
So, fuck yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
I don't know.
Have you ever hung out with a girl that you banged before that you kind of like, and all of a sudden you bring another girl into the mix, and like you're talking, she is looking at you like, oh yeah, it sticks out like no other, man. It's hard to hide natural emotion. This is not juniors back in the day when a guy brings his girlfriend in town, and all the boys are just hounding her like no other, and all of a sudden, things happen, and like you're like, why'd you bring her in the mix? Like a young kid would bring like one of the girls.
It happens in hockey too, buddy.
No shit.
Just so you know. I didn't know. If
tell
you knew
me more,
that.
Andy. I played with some guys that I knew.
With a teammate's wife?
No. I played with a lot of guys, man, over the years, and I've had girlfriends come into situations, and I would say I know some guys that I play with that if they had the chance to bang my girl, they would. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Now she's got to agree to that. And if you am I not good enough for you? You're gonna go with him?
I'm sure there's a lot of people that have wives that other people would want to hook up with.
Would actually do it.
Yeah.
Would go out of their way.
Even knowing that she's married to you. Yeah. Would still do it.
I would say there's plenty of guys I play with that would do that. Not that they can't help themselves. Sometimes women need to. Men and women, like they can't. Your best friend, they can't say no to it.
I know some women who have dated and been through several athletes, and then they marry one, but they've also they've hung out with several other players in their past, which is always kind of
so funny. Like that's why it'd be tough to date and really fall in love with a woman that's traveling, that's in the spotlight.
Would you want your woman on the road all the time?
Can I give you no
traveling?
No,
she's a sales executive.
She wouldn't want to be on the road here. Like we don't. I wouldn't. I want you home.
Where are you going this week? I'm going to L.A.
Now sometimes you want them to take trips here and there. Like I need alone time. Like you can't believe. Don't get me wrong. But you're gone all the time.
You get plenty of alone time
from her,
dude. You guys don't have any kids.
Wait. From her though.
Don't you get a lot of privacy?
Yeah, but we're still at home. Time. Like we're still at home. It's nice to have
She doesn't leave?
Not really.
No. She doesn't go anywhere without you?
But it's fine. Not really.
Are you ever like, go do things?
Yeah. Kind of.
Like encouraging her to go do things?
Yeah. I'd rather have that than the other side.
What's the other side?
She wants to get away from me.
Oh,
I don't want my wife to want to be away from me a lot. Like, no, that makes me, I don't know.
Yeah.
When you have kids, it's a different story.
Well,
like,
listen.
Kids is bringing so much different things. So I'll give you an example. Livy Dunn, beautiful girl. She's married to that badass baseball player who's an all-star. It's Paul Skeens, plays for the Pirates, throws 103 miles an hour. Stud. Was a stud at LSU, first pick overall. He's going to sign for a $300 million contract. Pimp daddy. Fucking pimp. Cool cat, too, man. He said, what's your favorite song? The national anthem. Like, just pure good old boy. Love that guy. He's dating Livy Dunn. He's kind of a goofy-looking son-of-a-bitch. But Livy Dunn now was at that white party with Joe Burrow.
With Rubin?
Rubin, yes.
Michael Rubin?
So, like, she's with Joe Burrow. There's pictures of them all the time. I would be just a little weirded by that.
Because he can't go because he's working.
He's working, dude. He's playing. So, like, your girls had invited to all these parties with just Joe Burrow. Like, you want your girl around that motherfucker.
Keep my wife away from Joe Burrow.
Get away from that son bitch. He's handsome. He's a pimp. $300 million.
Yeah.
Like, he's got it all, right?
Yeah.
So they're all hanging out. It just, That would bug me, I would say. I'm human.
Yeah.
That would bug me.
I know.
You know?
Some
maybe
people,
big Paul Skeens, maybe they're like their religion will maybe make them stronger. I think they're
some
both
people
kind of
may
religious.
would maybe think it's cool if your wife like
Not when
hung
you're a
out
pro.
with Joe Burrow, but not when you're a
not when you're
professional
pro.
athlete. And you're like, what? You're hanging out with who? Joe Burrow?
He's too handsome.
Now, we shouldn't start any rumors. I don't want
No,
people
you just
to
see it.
think.
It's all good. It doesn't mean she did anything.
Trevor
No.
Zegras was there.
I just said that would make me like, you know.
So here's how the
course,
party
you're
goes.
human,
Here's
human.
how the party goes down.
Yeah.
The Michael Rubin white party.
Yeah, the white.
And they're already planning for 2025. I hear it's going to even be bigger and better.
And he's
Cam.
probably like, I might get invited to this thing.
Tom Brady was there. Michael Strahan. A bunch of rappers.
dogs.
NBA.
Big dogs, man.
So do you know his background?
Is he? No.
He started like a ski shop, and
Yeah.
he would buy like used ski equipment and
Yep.
then sell it and make profit off of that.
Yeah.
But he's borrowing money from his dad. He's borrowing like $30,000 from a close friend of his to like take risk and do this and do that and do this. Eventually, he opened up multiple ski shops, and then he was involved in this business and that business and this business, which eventually led him to, I think he's the founder of Fanatics.
That's right.
Now, he owns Fanatics. I don't know if he started it or not. I'm pretty sure that he started Fanatics.
Either way, you're bringing it in.
And
I mean, look,
he's worth, from what I saw last time, Cam, I did some research on that and talking to some people who I know who
that know him, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think it's like $11.5 billion he's worth. Now, he used to be involved with the Philadelphia 76ers, maybe the New Jersey Devils at one point in time, too, as a, I don't know, silent partner or some type of
So how did he get in
investor.
the mix with all these guys, though? Like, just because you own Fanatics, there's a lot of billionaires that can't put a party on like that and then be able to invite all these guys and have it like every single year. Like, so how did he?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's just going around from one thing to the next, man. He may have been involved in Shark Tank at one point in time, too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
I mean, he just knows a lot of different people. And all these guys, now, it's like they all want to get the invite.
Yeah. So it's a.
Do you know that there's celebrities, Cam, according to my sources, who have said they'd be willing to pay $1 million to get into the party?
Okay.
Some have even said they'd be willing to pay $5 million to get into the party. Now the Kardashians were there. If they're going to go all the way from L.A. to the Hamptons for the party, that tells you all you need to know right then and there. I think Tom and Kim.
I don't know what that means because, like, Kim Kardashian, of course, she's a climate change hardcore chick. She flew all the way to fucking Europe to get an ice cream the other day and flew all the way back on her private jet. But my footprint's way worse than hers. It's just on the
She saves a lot of prisoners. She said.
Big time. Like so like for her to fly to a party, and you to be like, wow, I can't believe they did that.
Well,
of course
Chloe went with her.
That's
too.
all they do is party. That's her whole life. They go to parties and show their face and wear a thing where they gotta scratch it down so their butt looks bigger. You know.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. But
a lot of big dogs at that party. They were playing.
So that's my point with Paul Skeens. Like I would be. If I'm him, I'm like, geez, hanging out with all those guys. Like I would be maybe a
playing
little
football
weirded out.
on the beach. The Hamptons. You ever been to the Hamptons?
No. That's not my style.
Well, it might
Although
be.
very beautiful, and there's big lots, man, that have just beautiful grass, and that coastal line's awesome. But the people there would probably bug me.
Hey, we don't care about Fanatics anyway because we like bench clears, baby.
Well, Fanatics is part of the NHL
Bench
now,
clears.
too.
I know
People
they
are
are. They're
bitching
building the
about it.
jerseys. Are
Dude,
they?
Fanatics?
Why are they complaining about it? Bench clears, though. Use our promo code CAMASTRICT. Saves you 20%.
Aren't they with the MLB, too?
Who's that?
Fanatics.
I think they're like everything.
Yeah, and I think it's bad product. That's why everybody's chirping the MLB uniforms this year were so bad.
Really?
They were so cheap looking. Everybody, all the players are fucking bitching about. They're walking in.
Why they're like falling apart and stuff?
The names are too tight. The material's goofy.
Really?
Yes, all cheap. So they had to even have another influx of different kind of jerseys because a lot of them.
I mean, how much different could the material be? You know?
We went through that when I was playing. We had all those old school, like, God, those thick ass polyester jerseys in practice and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden Adidas came, and we had those real thin, nice, they're kind of like form-fitting jerseys.
Yeah.
They were so much more comfortable, but Lou didn't want to do that, so we had to wear those old school, thick ass practice jerseys.
You're not allowed to go on your own.
He did.
You can't go rogue.
Dude, I'll show you a
have
picture.
to wear what the league requires you to wear.
He got fined then.
I would imagine.
He was just getting fined.
We got a fact check on that one.
Dude,
I mean, that'd
the
be
guys
crazy.
would complain about it.
If he just would not wear the jersey that had the logo, if it had the old logo for an old company,
Yeah.
I don't know if he can
I
get
didn't
away
have
with
it
that.
it just was a different material. I don't know.
Oh,
I just remember that, man. Like, why are we still wearing these jerseys? That's Lou. Like, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what'd you do over the weekend, man?
Man, it was.
You didn't go out of town.
No, I didn't go out of
Good.
town.
I was like,
Dude, this is the first
fucking
weekend I've
chill,
been in
baby.
town
I
in
know.
5 weeks.
I know.
You know what I watched a lot of this weekend?
What?
And we spent a lot of time in the pool and we had fun, man. Went and saw fireworks, did all that.
Yeah.
I was kind of like a chauffeur for a little bit.
With the girls.
My daughter, my oldest.
Is she getting...
Take me here, take me there, take me here.
I know. She's getting older.
Kids are
homeboy.
sleeping over, which is fine.
Kids?
Multiple kids.
No.
Girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What do you think is going on?
Matt even knows, eh? Matt even knows, eh? I'm just asking. Girls are sleeping over.
Yeah, they're sleeping over, and it was fine. I mean, we had it was actually an enjoyable weekend. Had a lot of family time, dude.
Good. You needed that, man.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it just it wears you out traveling.
My
you
kid's
gotta
been
do,
playing so much. I just want to like let him just
Yeah.
chill and be at the pool and do whatever else he's doing.
Yeah, get away from performing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy with your friends sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Regroup,
Yeah.
and then he'll be craving it next weekend or whatever the case is. So
Yeah, you got to take that break. But I watched a lot of that brick tournament, dude. I mean, like, are you following this brick tournament with these 10-year-old hockey
with
players?
PK. It's pretty cool.
PK who?
Subban was like tweeting about when he won.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Did he win it?
I think so. I think he played for that same Detroit team that kind of won.
PK, call my agent.
Yeah, PK actually. So the kids won, and of course he's got to show them up by showing a goal from him back in the day.
Oh no!
You know, although he wasn't, he was just.
He's gonna come on. But he wants me to call. I don't know who his agent is. You know, Tarasenko fired another agent.
Why?
I mean, dude, he signed. I guess he thought he was gonna get a bigger deal than he got. I think he got a good deal.
4.5.
4.75 or whatever he got.
Okay.
For 2 years.
It's not bad, dude.
Although if I'm Detroit, I had nothing against Vladdy. But if you're going to sign, why wouldn't you just keep Perron?
I don't know.
I don't know if I don't know. I'll be curious to see how this experiment goes with Steve Yzerman. I don't know. He's just signing a lot of different like random guys.
How long has it been?
How
long?
He's been there for a while now. I mean,
How long? 6, 7?
Something like that. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
No, but I feel like every year they're adding players. But what are they adding to the puzzle?
6 years.
Is it the missing piece? Is it a piece that's going to get him over the top?
I bet you if you talk to some of our Detroit fans, they're starting to get a little pissy with him up there.
Maybe.
Figure something out. You know?
Maybe.
A couple of these, too, and Wallman leaves, and I did future considerations. He was one of your top defensemen. I don't know. What are you doing? What's the end game here?
Future considerations. I asked a GM about that.
Yeah.
At the draft.
Yeah.
I said, hey, what does it mean, like future considerations? What does that even mean?
Handshake agreement.
He starts laughing. He goes, it means nothing.
No.
It means here, you just have them.
If you get traded for future considerations,
they gave you away.
They didn't want you. You know what I mean? Which is okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't want to get traded for future considerations.
I like that Wallman. You know, like I do. Like,
yeah, he fell out of favor there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're happy up there right now. Nothing's changed.
I think they're excited. I think they think that the Redwings are like close
Really?
every year. You know, they really took a step last year where they almost made the playoffs, and they won some real exciting games down the stretch. And I think the fan base there is like thinking, hey, they're getting closer and closer. They brought back Patrick Kane. Now they're bringing in Tarasenko. I don't know.
So you're getting older? I don't know either. I don't know either, but you haven't done much.
Tarasenko's 32.
You haven't done much.
All I know is that Tarasenko, like, and I like Vladdy, you know, but you know he didn't do a whole lot during the play. I mean,
He's a couple big goals.
Scored a big goal a series.
Didn't notice
Sometimes you just didn't notice him. He's not getting around the ice the way that he used to. Shot, the puck doesn't come off his stick the way that it used to.
Oh, when he was playing for the Blues, man, that thing whipped off his stick so fast, dude.
Flick his wrist, and be bar down.
Anywhere in the offensive zone, like he'll rip one, dude. You're like, whoa.
In fact, I think when it's all said and done, when you look back at Vladdy Tarasenko, he's had a hell of a career, but he should have had at least one 50-goal season, man. You know what I mean?
Shoot.
His career high is 40. He only got to 40 one time. So I shouldn't even say that I think that he should get to 50 and be a 50-goal scorer. But I think he should have multiple, if not 3 or 4 or 5, 40-goal seasons on his resume. I think he's better than that. You know what I mean? Like, how many years did he get to 35? 3 or 4?
I just remember when he was young with the Blues, he was big, and he would get a lot of semi breakaways where he just lean in and find a way to get through, use his power.
Oh yeah.
Kind of break away with speed. I didn't see that too much in the last couple
he's
years.
lost a little bit.
He's lost a little bit. So like he just was a different player. Anytime he touched the puck, like it's.
But I'm
either
happy
going
he
bar
got
down.
the second year.
Hmm?
Happy he's got the second year. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like some of these guys, and I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying in general. Sometimes you just don't know how good you have it with a certain organization. When some guys are like, I want to go somewhere else,
seen that
I
a
want to
million
get
times.
traded, and now you know since he's left, this is like he's been with like 4 different teams now.
Can I show you the biggest guy that I've ever played with that thought that way and it really didn't work out?
Who's that?
He had it unbelievable with the Devils. Pete DeBoer, he was playing first line minutes. He was in front of the net on the power play. He was just a mucker grinder with some skill, with a good shot.
David Clarkson.
Yeah, damn right. My roommate,
How'd I
David
know
Clarkson,
that?
Because it was a big deal.
Yeah.
He went to Toronto, got
Oh,
suspended
yeah.
for 10 games, jumping off the bench.
Yeah.
Man, like he had everything here, dude. He just got done with a 30-goal season. Took a lot of money. I get all that, but I don't know what they offered him too. But he was like, he was perfect for the Devils, like perfect for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, I'm gonna go to my hometown. I'm gonna do my thing, and it just didn't work out. Build a big home. I think he left there. You know, Toronto was all over him because they signed him for a monster ticket. It was one of the worst signings, they say, if you look it up, like one of their worst signings.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that.
You know?
People have
And
said
he was a
that.
hell of a hockey player, man. But he was just perfect for the fit for the Devils at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought the grass was greener, and it wasn't.
Mhm.
So he's okay, though. He's coaching his kids and stuff like that. Got a lot of money. He's okay. You know, he's a good dude.
I think he's okay.
He's
yeah.
okay. You know what I mean?
Jimmy Howard, man, I'll give him a shout out. So speaking of the brick tournament,
Yeah,
man, so
I
I'm
saw
watching that.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool.
So cool.
I sent some like highlights to some people, and they were like, "You're such a loser watching tennis," but like they'll celebrate the Little League World Series
Kids
or something
going
like
through
that.
the same thing. Your kid's going
You know what I
through it.
mean? And it's like, it's hard to like. I'm not like going crazy here. Like it's not a guarantee that these kids are going to be NHL superstars, but some of them will be.
Of course they are. We've seen that in the
100%.
past. I mean, yeah.
So and
Quebec
it's-
tournament, this tournament.
and the
yeah.
talent for these kids and how they put on the tournament. Man, I'll give the Brick people a shout out. They had a broadcast cam. Like did a hell of a job with
It's
their
awesome.
broadcast. They're like interviewing these kids
Professional.
after the games,
Yeah.
fully professional.
Yep.
And
I don't let him chirp
this
you.
Detroit team, this junior Red Wings team, they got a kid by the name of Kason Pusateri, who played some tournaments here in St. Louis. His family's from St. Louis, both soccer players.
Really?
Moved to Arizona. Now he's in Detroit, where he's playing for Little Caesars and doing his thing there. Obviously moved there for hockey reasons, I would imagine, why he left Arizona and went to Detroit, although Arizona's got some good hockey going. But he's just he had a hell of a tour. He got a lot of attention. He and a couple other kids on that team. I saw them play live in Chicago when I was there for a tournament a couple weekends ago with my son. So he was playing in the 2016 bracket. These kids are all 2014s. And I went and watched a lot of the games. Remember when I said I saw that guy pass out and basically die in front of me
And you saved his life?
by yelling in the crowd
Yeah. You did a good job there.
and getting some medical attention?
Yes. You were on your phone. You put your phone down.
Yes.
And you did a good
Yes.
job. Good deed there.
Yes.
Good job.
I watched this Detroit team play there and a bunch of these other teams that were there for the weekend. So I felt like they were the best team there. They didn't lose when I was there in Chicago either. That's a hell of a team. But first time they've won the Brick in like 30 years or something like that out of Detroit, which kind of surprised me.
The Edmonton Mall.
Edmonton Mall.
Pretty cool. And everybody had their own section. They're all wearing the same jersey. All the
Yeah.
jerseys are awesome
The
looking.
glass is so short, though. I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised some of those parents don't get hit in the face with a puck, though.
Yeah, it was cool. I saw Jimmy Howard like celebrate, like he was excited, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Oh, yeah.
pretty cool. The kids are jumping off. Kids are out there with no shirt on
We're
the
going
ice.
to get him on.
Yeah, get him on. Why would you not watch that? Your kid's going through it every fucking weekend. Don't you want to see what he's doing and comparing to?
I know.
Yeah, I'd be obsessed with that, dude.
Yeah. So I
Let
watched
me
a bunch
tell
of
you that.
games. So in the Boston Junior Bruins, they lost to Detroit in the semifinals, but they had a great run. They got to the semifinals for the first time in a number of years, I believe.
Andy did. Andy likes to brag a lot. So he sent me a picture of this 2 slabs of spare ribs from one of his butchers he gets free food from. And he's like, check this out. And I'm like, wow, good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, see, he had all these different seasonings by it, all
Oh,
this
yeah.
different barbecues. Like, I'm like, Andy's going to put that mug on that Traeger.
4 hours.
4 hours, season that up. I go, when you cooking that? He's like, no, I'm taking it to a party.
I did, dude.
No.
Most popular guy
no,
there.
No. So Andy opens up he buys these ribs, gets these ribs. He opens it up, sets them out, and then places all these different spices around it like he's going to do it himself. But then he puts them back in the thing and takes them to a house and has somebody else do it.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
You want to know why?
That's what he does to me. He didn't season them. He didn't put any bark.
No, I seasoned them.
Why would you? Why
and
would
I
you
put apple juice on them every hour.
That's so funny. Dude.
Here's
you
why.
Didn't cook those.
Here's why. Because it takes 4 hours to cook, and I wasn't going over to this house till later in the afternoon.
So you cooked them and brought them over.
So he was like, bring them over now. Don't bring them over when you get here. Bring them over now, so then they'll be ready when the party starts.
He cooked them.
Well, you put them on the grill. I put them in the foil. I seasoned them, put them in the foil. Then
how'd they taste?
Amazing.
Like, describe it.
I didn't try the ribs yet.
Yeah, that's so fun.
But hey, listen, I made a bunch of steaks, so you saw those?
No, I didn't.
You said who cooked those? I said I did. Remember that?
I don't know. I was at the
Cam
lake.
got so mad. The
I was at the
comments were
lake.
coming in were hilarious about it, knowing how angry you were going to get. That I'm making ribs. Beautiful ribs, by the way.
Why would anybody eat any sort of barbecue from a guy that doesn't even eat it himself?
Look at those.
That doesn't even eat them.
How good do those look?
They look pretty damn good.
I mean, come on now.
How about you slice them open and let me look?
I did slice them open.
Show me. But
I
the
don't know if I
point is,
took a
it is
picture of
odd, and I love Andy. It's fine.
This is my ribs right here.
So he sends me this like he's going to do it himself. Another guy did it. But my point is, it is an odd thing for somebody to bring over and want to cook you barbecue that legitimately doesn't eat it himself. So I would be weirded out by that. You don't know if something's different that you taste. It's like, maybe I shouldn't do that last time, blah, 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 because you haven't tasted it.
Yeah.
So
no, I did.
it would be.
I had some of the New York strip.
It would be weird for me to want to
the
be excited about that.
The
That's all.
T-bone. I had some of
You know what I mean?
And the only reason why I didn't have any of the ribs, I just didn't get over there.
Like somebody
eat it
making a
and
car and he's
socializing.
not going to drive it for you or drive it and see if it's good, right? Like, it's just a weird.
They probably.
If you ask normal people that eat barbecue about that, I think they'd agree with me and say that's odd.
Dude, I made the steaks, the T-bone
cool.
and the strip steaks. Ate those. I just didn't have the ribs. I just didn't get to them. Ty ate the hell out of the ribs, though, man.
Good.
Loved them.
That's good.
Yeah. And
mean, it was
everybody
good.
else did. People are saying it's some of the best ribs they've ever had.
Probably. I mean, usually when you never eat what you cook, it's usually the best. Like, you know what I mean? Because you really know what's going on with the flavor and the seasoning and whatnot.
Yeah, other people were like taking a look at them.
Yeah, but they're looking at you and they're probably like, I'm not going to be a dick to them. And be like, yeah, these are pretty good. Like, you have to eat it yourself to really know.
Yeah,
it could be a little bit too spicy. Like, I'm not going to be a dick and tell people it's not that good.
I just didn't get to the ribs, but
You
I got
know?
to the steaks, dude, and the steaks were incredible.
Just odd. A little odd.
We had salmon, we had lobster tail, we had so much shit. Dude.
Baby. Yeah, I like that lobster
Shrimps.
tail. I like that lobster tail.
Making
Damn right.
some shrimp tacos.
Damn right, man. Yeah, it was good because it rained so hard Thursday, and then all the fireworks got canceled or whatever.
Dude, it was a beautiful day, though.
Thursday was kind of goofy, and then all of a sudden it stopped at like 10 o'clock, but everything was flooded. So
10 in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, so like kids are going to walk outside in the grass. Like it's just, it was kind of nasty, but then the rest of the weekend was beautiful, man. Beautiful weekend. It was cool. Listen to a lot of Toby Keith. I don't know why. I got Toby Keith, baby. What's up?
I could have told you that.
God, I don't know why.
I could have told everyone that.
I've been getting into death metal, dude. I've been getting into some death metal. I find all this stuff on YouTube that just pops up. I'm like, what's this stuff? Boop. And all of a sudden, I'm like, God, I get obsessed with these different little
Who's
bands.
your favorite death metal?
Non-S Deuce right now. If you want to look that up, pretty hardcore. I like Coben Fiber, German band, pretty hardcore. They're just little things.
You like death metal?
Yeah, kind of.
Does it make you like, it gets you ready to run through a wall or what?
Maybe it's not death metal, but they sing about scriptures in the Bible.
Oh my God. It's Christian rock.
I don't know what it is, but I like it. It's different, it's unique, and Bible verses are so hardcore for some reason. Like when you sing them, it just has a different vibe to it. I don't know, it's weird.
I went to a Christian rock concert a couple times
Really?
when I was a kid.
Skillet?
I don't remember. But then
They're pretty good.
Like the whole church went to Six Flags one time, and there was like a band
What
playing
church
there.
were you in?
I went to a couple different ones.
What religion?
Presbyterian.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was raised Presbyterian. But
like Joe Burrow, man.
LSU
He's cool.
football is probably, it's like different than even like Windsor. Like you're not going back to Windsor once a year to go watch a game. People go back to LSU all the time. There's reunions.
If you're living in Canada and you're drafted by Windsor, you go down to Windsor. and watch
LSU
games.
might as well be a professional sport.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
All those
Like
big
when-
schools are professional. Are you kidding?
mean,
They're making more money than
When you're the starting quarterback at LSU
You
and you're
are
winning
a-
a national championship,
man.
you are like
you are the man.
You might as well play for the Dallas Cowboys.
I got into college football last year big time because Mizzou was freaking good. I mean, I really watch every game. We had like parties with our radio show and stuff about it.
Yeah.
I love watching college football.
Yeah. Oh,
I
college
love watching
football's great.
football, college football and football. Not the UFL. Didn't get into that. I love the Battlehawks. We want to support you because you're bringing money and revenue into St. Louis, which we need. By the way, did you see the shootings in St. Louis over 4th of July weekend? Oh my God!
How many were there?
Oh,
I didn't see too many. Of
oh
those.
my! Look at some of these videos of
Really?
St. Louis. Fucking machine guns, blah 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 blah, fighting each other, fireworks going off, gunfire, all sides. I mean, people are getting shot left and right. St. Louis was hardcore.
So one time, 4th of July, we went downtown to watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
And we decided to take like the side roads, like to get to the highway.
Yeah.
And I made a wrong turn. Didn't really know where I was, dude. We
Like
drove
in North County?
Oh, like yeah.
Where were you going to? Arch?
I was down there, and then I was driving home. But like, there's so much traffic. I'm going around like traffic trying to get through. Ended up in like these neighborhoods, like bad neighborhoods, dude. And like everyone's out, and they're shooting fireworks off like crazy in
they
the
saw
middle of
you.
the street, dude. We're like driving through it, and they're shooting them at our car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
With your family?
Oh yeah.
Oh, damn.
I think it was just me and Laurie, and like my oldest was like maybe a year old in the
Oh,
car.
Yeah. And they saw you, and they're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here, dude?
Driving through.
Looking out of place, and they're shooting fireworks at you?
We had some great fireworks though, man. I mean, some people brought over to this house I was at like crazy fireworks, dude.
You're not allowed to shoot them off at that place.
No one said a word about
Yeah.
it.
Well, they couldn't.
But
There's
it
so
might as
many-
well be at like a big like
Yeah.
monster festival.
Yeah.
Big fair type.
You're not allowed to shoot
fireworks.
fireworks off in St. Louis County. You know, that's why you got to
Yeah,
Jefferson.
yeah,
and
it's
Franklin.
always been a rule.
But they do.
But they
anyway.
don't really crack down too
Yeah.
hard on it.
What are they going to do? Go to every single house? They'd be so busy all night.
Yeah. Do you know people shoot guns on 4th of July too? I think, or is that New Year's?
That's more New Year's than anything.
They like shoot it in the air.
They were shooting guns downtown St. Louis. I'll tell you that.
You see those basketball players tell that story? They've all played for the Indiana Pacers. And this guy's telling a story about how they all had an off day and they all just got their gun licenses. And all these NBA players had these guns. And they went to like a strip club to a party. Ended up a huge brawl broke out. And they're like in the parking lot and, you know, hitting people with their pistols and stuff like that and like fighting. Guns are going off, and he's telling this story years later. Everyone's chirping this guy, like, "Dude, why are you even like telling this story?"
Yeah, because that's illegal, man.
Yeah,
because
like,
you have your gun doesn't mean you can take it
it's
to a
legal. Doesn't
Rippers.
mean like you take it
You
out and you
can't
start
take
like shooting it in the
can't
parking lot.
do that.
And they're shooting it at cars that are pulling
Only
away and stuff.
in Missouri, you have the Castle Doctrine, where if somebody reaches in your car and you have your license,
What's
and
it
hold
called?
The Castle Doctrine.
What is that?
Maddie, is it Castle Doctrine? Where if they reach, so say you and Lori are in the hood where you're at, and somebody comes up to your car, and they reach into your car
You
to
can
try
shoot
to,
'em?
you can shoot them. So
I don't know if that's true.
it is true.
Because I hear that even if you're being carjacked, and if they don't have a gun,
Oh, they'll probably get. Yeah, you might go.
and
it's
if you
scary
shoot
now.
them,
You could
that's
stick
true,
up. That's
see?
why. See, I told, yeah, no,
you
he
have
said
to
mine's
you
true.
have to let them.
He
No,
said-
no, he's saying mine's
Maddie,
true. No, he's saying.
Am I right?
No, I'm right.
I'm right.
No,
Yeah,
no,
sit
I'm
down,
right.
you idiot.
Oh,
So anyway, but no, man, like nowadays it's so weird to where you could stick up for your family somewhere or stick up for an old lady getting beaten and you beat this other guy up.
You're
you
going to
might go
jail.
to jail. Happened to a guy, this veteran in the subway. This guy was harassing everybody. Happened like a year ago.
I remember
And he
that.
choked him out and then helped him because he had to take him down because he was getting out of control.
Mm-hmm.
There was women on there and stuff like that. He choked him right out. The guy died. And he tried to help him. And he's fucking going to jail. Like just stuff like that, man. It's like, no wonder everybody's a pussy now. They
Mm.
don't want to help anybody out because they might go to jail for defending somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I don't know if I could help myself. Like, I think I would jump in the mix.
Would
And-
you? I don't know. I saw you a couple times not get involved when there was a big
Oh,
brawl happening.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. At a Stanley Cup party.
oh, yeah.
You didn't really get involved.
Because I
with
got
that.
choked out. But you want me to tell the story?
Well, no, you already told the story before,
Well,
but
then
I
what the
didn't
fuck?
see you really get involved.
Well,
too
after
much.
that, I was donezo. And
Yeah.
that was petty stuff. That was wrestling matches, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
I was just getting Kate out of there, too, by the way.
There was like nothing dangerous. about
Nothing
that
dangerous. No
situation.
gunfire.
But there was like 20 guys fighting.
Yeah.
But I just remember sitting there just being like, what are these guys going to do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get involved in the fight.
I just tried to break up a fight, and the old lady came up and choked me, and
Yeah, she
Kate
did.
lost her mind on her.
Yeah, she did. But you
Get
got,
off of her, you bitch!
You got taken.
I've never seen
you
Kate
got
ever
taken,
be like
You
that.
got taken down.
No, she cut me. And I'm like, I'm going to fuck your husband
An old
up.
lady put
I'll-
you in a
I'll
chokehold.
fucking bag your
I was
husband
right
up.
there.
Oh, Andy was hiding in a corner, of course.
No, I wasn't. You saw what I was doing.
What were you doing?
Chilling.
Okay.
I went to Parkway North, dude. Like, I've seen lots of hardcore stuff over the years.
We all have, man. You know, we're not, sheltered with that.
So that part, that fight scene was just like,
500 fights under my belt, and Andy thinks I'm going to be the pussy of the group. Get out of here. You got to pick and choose your battles, too, though, man. Like, that's for sure. But if some old lady is getting jumped, I'm fucking jumping in there.
What do you think
sorry.
the most uneducated state is in the country?
No, Mississippi, West Virginia.
West Virginia is last.
Excuse me?
West Virginia is the least educated.
Yeah, okay.
Than Mississippi.
We talked about this before.
I don't think we did.
No, we did.
They just came out. They just came out with a new ranking.
Okay. Then fine. I was right there. Mississippi, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Now there's a big hurricane coming up, and it's going to hit Texas coming up here soon. There's tornadoes forming and stuff like that, and eventually in Missouri, that mug's going to creep up and just dump rain all over the Midwest. That's the trajectory going right now.
Really?
Which we're going to be affected by a hurricane. So, but it's rocking. I don't know what category it is right now, but. Just to go through that, you see this monster coming, man. You live on the coast. You're like, fuck, I got to, there's big trees by your house, like lovely big oak trees that protect your house from the sun and all that. And you look at those and you're like, this son of a bitch is coming. I got to cut these things down. And it's not an easy task, and it costs thousands of dollars. If you have a monster tree in your front yard and you got to cut that thing down and hire somebody to do it, it costs out the ass. And like little things like that, you got to board up everything. All your valuables, your animals, you got to pack up and leave and see what happens. Then you go back down to your house, and who knows what's in there now. It's underwater for a while. Who knows what kind of creature, weirdo things are in. Oh, God.
Where, at the bottom of your house?
Yeah, if your house gets flooded with ocean water for fucking days and days and days.
Are you seeing these shark attacks everywhere, Cam?
Andy, I saw one the
I'm
other
not
day.
getting in that ocean for a long
Andy,
time.
they're in a foot of water.
They're in Padre Island, Texas.
They're a foot of water.
They're in Marco Island.
They're everywhere.
In Florida.
Did you see the one? A 12-foot. I think it was a tiger shark. 12-foot in a foot of water, going 100 miles an hour, zipping,
flipping out.
This lady out there gets her whole calf ripped off with one bite, like blah, blah. They drag her out. Then the guy films the ocean, and the thing's just lurking
with
like this.
Red blood. Oh yeah.
She was.
What do you think
out.
it's so pissed off about?
It's not
it scared?
bad.
Is it like?
No.
What's not
what
bad?
What do you mean? It's not mad.
The shark?
The shark's like, this is great. There's food everywhere. Although they don't like human meat, but they'll bite you and taste you, and they're like, I don't want any more of you. Or they'll eat you whole and be like, I'm starving. What, do you think they're upset? No, they're like, this is great. This is like a kid in a candy store. What do I want? That girl, that kid,
like
that
he
this.
Was
what do you mean?
Flipping out.
Yeah, because he's in a foot of water. That's where most of the shit that they eat is, in 3 feet of water.
So why are they coming so close to the shore?
Because that's where all the action's at, baby. It's easy pickings.
What do they have inside that nasty ass lake you were on? What do they have in there?
Man, I saw all kinds of weird stuff.
Clothes and
because it was very populated, so there's debris everywhere. Then hardcore rain falls, so there's a lot of weird stuff. I saw this one gooey looking thing, and I go, "What?" My cousin, I go, "What the fuck is that thing?" Looked like a jellyfish, like a blob. And you're like, "What is this?" So I looked it up. It's like a colony of all these different like little animals, and they're good for the lake. They eat up all this different stuff, that like bacteria and stuff like that, but it looks so disgusting. Was that there 20 years ago? I didn't see it growing up down there. Just a lot of little weird things, but there's some big old fish in there, dude.
Are there? Are people fishing off the boats and stuff?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, I mean, like you got to go to a quiet area. Like, dude, it's so packed out there.
Is it really that packed?
It's ocean liners.
You have to travel in a certain direction when you're on a boat. No, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah, oh God, you are never driving me anywhere on land or water.
Why?
No, there's not. No, but at nighttime you'll know. If you see the different light on the front of the boat, you'll have to navigate. He's going this way, I'm going this way.
Can you see, like, are there good enough lights on a boat to see at nighttime?
Not much.
Are you seeing those?
I'll tell you this. I was driving. We went out early because that's when you go. And I did that video for Bench Clears and all of a sudden you're cruising, more people out. You kind of look around, the sun's beating down. You're like, whoa, shit, I didn't see that boat. It just pops up. It's like a video game. It's like a racing video game back in the day when you're running, you're like, you don't see it, and all of a sudden the thing pops up and you're like, that's how it is at the lake, dude. There's so much shine going down from the sun. It's really...
You got to keep your head on a swivel.
Really dangerous.
Yeah, I could probably...
Really, really dangerous.
Find my way through that.
Oh, you would do that. Andy would be the guy on the pontoon boat with his bumpers flapping in the wind in a no-wake zone going 30 miles an hour with his family. Then he gets rolled over, and he's like, what I didn't do, what I do? Well, you got your bumpers flapping, you got this, you're going in a no-wake zone. Yeah, you see those guys. You actually could tell, man. You look around all the boats and stuff like that, and I could just tell, like, you rented that thing. You don't know what you're doing.
Really?
You rented that thing. You know what you're doing. Your buoys, your bumpers are flying.
Is anyone allowed to drive the boat?
Yes.
You don't have to have like a boating license?
I had to go get my license because my year was a cutoff, 84. Or 85 was a cutoff. So, or 84, whatever, 83. So I had to go back and get my license.
What do you mean the cutoff?
They made a rule now.
Anybody born after 83?
Yes. You have to go this long, extensive,
Where do you do
drawn
it?
out. You do it online. I did it. It fucking took forever.
Kate do it for you?
Like, how would she know? She doesn't know how to navigate a boat. I had a boat for 10 years now.
Oh, so they're asking you like specific questions?
Yes, I had a boat for 10 years, and then that went past, and I had to go back and get my license.
I mean, let's be honest here.
That's great.
Let's be honest. Like, I know it sounds like way complicated, but how hard is it to drive a boat?
Really hard. If you're in action, you think you want to drive up the Merrimack River where I got to navigate
Don't
this
you just
river?
put it in drive and it just goes?
Andy, I got to navigate my fucking speed through all these different things, man. It's just so much to it. Depends on what kind of boat you have. Dude, you got a twin... You got twin engines, man. You got to learn how to navigate and go docking different things.
Did you remember how to do it?
Yeah, you have to dock into all these different boats. You see dipshits everywhere. We'll go to Lake Ozarks. We'll go sit on a restaurant looking over, and we'll just sit, kick our feet up, have our cocktails, and watch literally dipshits try to park their boat. And they're like, then they hit another boat, hits the dock, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. It is so difficult, dude. You really got to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you really got to
know what you're doing. I would agree
Ignorant
with
people
that.
like him would literally rent a boat, not ask any questions, bring their family on there, and just go with it. That's what ignorant
You see
people
any accidents?
do. No, but there were. There were.
Why would anyone want to go there and have a good time if they're
It's a
if they're
blast.
pulling you over and giving you
You just
DWIs?
know they're going to do it at night. Get out of there at night, dude. Go home. Or have a driver.
So
You
during
rent
the
a captain.
daytime, they're leaving you alone?
No, I mean, they're there, but there's so much going on to where you got to do something stupid, or you're driving erratic, or, or you're too close to the shoreline, maybe they'll get you, or whatnot. Or they look at you, have 15 swinging dicks in there, and you're only supposed to have 7.
Really?
Yes, they'll get you. Or your bumpers are flapping out in the wind. Yeah, there's a bunch.
What are
You got
they
kids
in?
without life jackets
Are
on your
they
boat.
in marked boats that say police?
Yes, they're center councils, that's state patrol. Those are state patrol. They used to be park rangers. Now they fucking stadies, dude. We got rolled over one time. My first time down there when my cousin got his first boat. It was me, Kate, my brother, and him. And we're
Same crew that was there this weekend.
Yes. That was the first time we went out. With Derek finally got his boat for Lake Ozarks. I had mine for the river. He got his boat for the lake. We're cruising.
Your boat couldn't go in the lake?
Oh, fuck no. Mine's specifically
Why
made for the
not?
river.
Oh.
Because it's aluminum and it's 23 foot.
Okay, fine, go.
No, come on.
All right.
Jesus. So anyway, it's not a little bit nighttime. Derek didn't have his outside lights on right. Just one little thing. We're not speeding. We've been partying. So we're jammed up.
Yeah.
We get rolled by an old lady and a young kid who she's teaching, meaning she's showing him the ropes. That means we're going to be the victims here one way or the other. Like she's going to show how you arrest people and stuff like that. We got a light out.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Now what's in the boat? What do you guys got going? Let me look at you. So he comes over, looks at Derek. Derek's playing it cool. First time ever getting rolled over. I'm like so fucking nervous. Kate's like, just calm down. My brother's there, who was a police officer. She comes on. She's like, what do you guys got going? You didn't have your dinner. Like, strict. My brother goes, Diana? Wait, Diana, hi, it's John Jansen. I worked with you in fucking Kinlaw, whatever it was, up in North County.
Oh, my God.
She's like, John, this must be your brother. Hi, how you guys doing? Listen, just take the.
Okay.
Wasn't me that knew her. Wasn't any. It was my brother.
Well, that's good to know. That happened to
Scary.
me years ago. Actually, I was
Yeah.
getting chased by a car. I was with this one girl.
Oh no.
We were driving late at night, and this car was waving a baseball bat outside of the car. Okay?
Oh, just get away from him.
And no, they're chasing us. She's
Oh,
driving.
Jesus. Oh no.
And all of a sudden, like she pulls into like this like parking lot, and like we're stuck, dude. he gets out of the car, he runs to the car, and I ended up knowing the guy like pretty well, and he knew me, and he was
What's he
like,
doing?
I don't know, he's an idiot. I knew he was an idiot already
Did you
before.
cut him off?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, probably road rage.
Yeah, it must have been some type of.
Do you get road rage?
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm the furthest thing from road rage.
Me too.
You can't even get me mad on the road. You can get me mad if I'm
because you're the one pissing everybody else off. No wonder.
if I'm in a hurry, I start doing crazy things.
Yeah, we know.
Driving around.
We know.
Other cars, like, I use my peripheral vision, kind of like a running back in the open field.
It ain't the 90s anymore, dude.
But
it ain't the 90s.
do I flip somebody off?
No.
Do I honk at other people?
I'll do that once in a while.
I do. I will say I don't like it when like somebody gets unnecessarily angry at me. Like if I didn't, nothing, it's not that big a deal. And like this chick's
Well, if
like
you cut 'em
pulling
off.
up next to you, and she's like, blah, blah, blah. You're just kind of
Where you're like, you better calm down. What if
Yeah.
I was a psycho?
yeah, exactly.
I'll follow you somewhere.
Oh my god,
I know. That's why Kate never does. Like, I had old girlfriends that would do that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why would you flip that?
My wife-
You flipped off 4
Dude,
hillbilly
I'll be
dudes. Are
talking
you
to my
kidding?
wife on the car, and all of a sudden I hear the horn. I'm like, oh, are you honking at somebody? Like, stop honking.
No, don't. Just get away from them. Don't cause
She's
any
a worse
attention.
driver than I am.
No, you are. Wow. I feel bad for your kids.
She's not a bad driver. I'm just saying, she's just not as good of a driver.
As you? Oh, Lord.
You're overstating that.
Swear to God. You made me feel uncomfortable.
I did not. Why wouldn't you have said that?
I swear to God. I got to look in the fucking camera. I swear to God, he made me feel uncomfortable. Good guy. Good guy. Loves his family. Terrible driver. Very uncomfortable experience. I actually don't want you to do that again to me. I'm going to put my foot down on that if you won't drive me.
2
I'll be
times
like,
you've been in the car.
You know what I'll do? I'll grab your fucking phone and I'll be like, you're not looking at it until we get to our
First time
destination.
this guy comes in my car, he's got COVID. He like, gives COVID all over the car.
Get out of here. What do you got to say for yourself?
What's the latest with the president? Do we know if he's running, if he's not going to run?
I actually stayed out of the loop for 4 days.
How did you handle that?
Great.
I feel like you need like television and stuff like
No,
that.
I don't
and like
need-
your phone.
No, I need to know what's going on with different things.
Yeah,
I'd like to know.
you'd have a hard time like
No, I was good.
being in the woods for a weekend and just shutting it all off.
No, not at all.
No problem.
No. It is nice now that it is nice to just stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am curious on what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. A lot going on. A lot of weird stuff going on. So what's Biden gonna do? I don't know. Even the Democrats are like, "What? We gotta do something." But he's staying there. Dr. Jill's got him. Dr. Jill really wants him. So odd. It's so bizarre. Why would she even want this to go down anymore? She likes to be in power. I think she's the one that's selfish. Biden doesn't even know where he's at. Biden's like, tell me what to do. I'll do it. Like, he's not running the show. So,
But I heard they had him on a lot of medication.
of course they do.
That probably led to
Of
him
course
just
they
being
do. Listen,
completely...
Trump's on medication too. Listen, when you're at that age and you have money, that's what you do. Just like the rock stars. You don't think fucking Rolling Stones are on medication to stay awake and to stay energized?
throughout the entire concert.
Yes, and go to Japan.
Didn't they
and
just
then
play
this.
here?
Yeah. You don't think they're getting oil changed, dude? And all kinds of different HGH, all that stuff. I would too. But it doesn't work for him. He's out. He's done. It's weird, man.
Well, no, I think he had the reaction he probably had. It was like the opposite effect. It was like putting him to sleep.
You were surprised by that?
No.
I can't believe he didn't have a good showing.
I know people were saying that. Like I was kind of thinking that. Like
So
why are
dumb.
people so surprised about that?
I know. Come on, man. So anyway, we'll see what happens then. A lot of drama going on. A lot of drama.
So listen, Jamie Kompon's on this edition.
Yeah.
And I gotta like break it down. This guy has like grinded it out throughout the course of the years. He's had so much success as an assistant coach, dude.
Yeah.
He's the second coach. I said this to Cam when he walked in today. I go, he's the second coach in NHL history to win 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. And Cam's like, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's the other one? He's like,
didn't
I
know.
don't know.
I didn't know who the other one was, but that doesn't mean I didn't
The
know
other
that.
one's very simple. It's Scotty Bowman.
Okay, but I didn't. Well, yeah, okay, but I didn't know. I knew it Kompon because
So
I read it.
he and Scotty Bowman are the only 2 in NHL history to win 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams as a coach.
Yep.
Now, he's not a head coach. He's an assistant coach. He was a head coach in Portland in the WHL a few years back in the Western League with the Portland Winterhawks. So we'll get into that with him, man. I mean, lots of stuff to talk to him about. He won Stanley Cups under Darryl Sutter, Joel Quenneville, and Paul Maurice.
Yeah.
Those are three pretty good coaches. And let me explain to you about Jamie also, because he's that guy that the big dog coaches, they want him on their staff. So, like, Joel Quenneville had him for years here in St. Louis.
Yep.
You know, Joel gets fired from St. Louis. People separate. He ends up going to Colorado. Jamie goes out to L.A., right? Darryl Sutter hires him, wins a Stanley Cup there. Now, it's kind of weird because he kind of got fired after winning a Stanley Cup. The power play wasn't very good, like kind of middle of the pack, got let go. But then who brings him on his staff? Right the second he gets let go, who brings him on his staff? Joel Quenneville. Come with me to Chicago. So he wins a Stanley Cup there. Then he gets the head coaching job. Then he comes back and works for Paul Maurice in Winnipeg.
Head coaching job with
Portland.
Why did he leave Chicago?
To go be the head coach of the Portland Winterhawks.
So maybe go up that.
Yeah, so if you want to be a head coach, you got to go be a head coach. I say this all the time. All these career assistants. If you want to be a head coach,
you have to do it.
You got to go be a head coach.
Yep.
And it's hard, man. It's like sometimes when you get your start and you get a taste of the NHL and you played in the NHL and that's all you know is the NHL, you're not willing to go down to the American League to work and be a head coach, when in reality that's the best thing you could probably do if you want to be a head coach in the NHL, is to go down to the American League and be a head coach, or go to the OHL and be a head coach.
Let me ask you something. Do you think Steve Ott would go down to the American League and grind it out?
I don't know.
He's never played in American League.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough when you have a family and all that,
you're
man.
Eating Subway on 12-hour trips, and you're on a bus. It's different.
It's tough
it's
when you have a family, and they're used to a certain lifestyle. They're in a certain city. Yeah. They got their hockey. They got their friends. They got their schooling.
I know.
Everything's taken care of. You're working with the NHL team. It'd be hard to walk away from that.
I know.
I'll give you an example. Much different situation, but for me personally, when I got hired by a big-time radio station out of college, and right off the bat, I'm covering NHL teams, the Blues. I'm covering Super Bowls, World Series. And people would tell me, hey, listen, if you want to be on the air, you want to host, you want to do that, you probably need to go to a small market. You need to start working, get that experience, editing, doing camera work, being on the set, being on camera, get those reps in. And I'd always tell any young kid looking to get into business, you got to go probably to a small market. It's hard. Usually the bigger, larger markets are reserved for established, experienced broadcasters. It's hard to just walk in a major market and get a big-time job at a historical or legendary institution or
at a young age too. Like,
at a young age.
They're not going to do that.
But I was like, I'm not doing that. And if I had to do it all over again, maybe I would have changed it. But you get a taste of, you start like, eating steak right off the bat. You
but you don't have your own show on that station?
No.
Yeah, so you weren't even talking. Were you?
I was a producer.
Yeah.
I was producing, and then Dan McLaughlin was the guy, the first person who brought me on the air. I started joining him every Sunday, doing a hockey show, and then doing different shows. Bernie Miklasz, who was a big columnist here in town, I was producing his show. He'd bring me on the air almost every day for at least a segment. Sometimes we do hour-long roundtables together, and that's how I got my experience.
But then you have to host your own show.
And then I was doing, broadcasting for minor league hockey teams. I was doing TV shows for a high school prep sports show. It was on the Fox affiliate here, and it would air every Sunday morning leading into NFL football. So I'd do that during the week. I produced at a television station, too. I was writing for a local newspaper. I was doing so much different shit, Cam. And then eventually got hired by another radio station and was a full-time host and started doing full-time hosting on the radio. But, yeah, so for these coaches, man, if all you know is the NHL, it's hard for these guys to leave that lifestyle and all of a sudden go coach in the American League. Even though the gold at the end of the rainbow may be there for you if you go that route versus just hanging on as an assistant.
Or it's nice to be an assistant, though, man.
Hell yeah.
It is.
If you don't need to be the main guy, I mean, and we're going to talk to Jamie about that.
Like he's probably doing, like, you're a winner. Like, people are probably making good money.
Hell yeah. So then after Chicago, after the Portland situation.
What happened with that?
He was only there for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think Mike Johnston was like a legendary coach there. He's still there today.
Yeah.
And he got in some trouble there with Portland. Recruiting violations, some other stuff. Nothing like, I don't think like legal and stuff. But like, they were like cheating, paying guys under the table, doing some shit. And so he ended up going to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then got fired by the Penguins. And all of a sudden, he's in the stands watching Portland Winterhawk games when Jamie is there. But he and Jamie were tight. I think he's the reason why Jamie got the job because they coached together under Daryl Sutter in L.A. And I think Mike Johnston was like an associate head coach in L.A. So he probably helped Jamie get the job. So Mike Johnston leaves Portland to go be the head coach of the Penguins. Then he gets fired by the Penguins. All of a sudden, now he shows back up in Portland when Jamie's the coach.
Yeah.
And he's watching games, and there's newspaper stories, and he's like, no, I want to stay in the NHL. I'm not looking to get back into Portland. Fast forward a few months later, Jamie's fired, Mike Johnston back behind the bench in Portland.
To be honest with you, though, I think it'd be better to coach in the CHL than the American League.
I think so.
I think it's easier.
With a prominent organization in a good market.
Yeah, even like Windsor, like the travel's better and stuff like that. You're still in the spotlight. You're more in the spotlight than the American League.
Yeah.
Like you really are.
Yeah.
Like you're on TV all the fucking time
if you're in Chicago coaching the Wolves or something like that, there's certain markets.
But there are other markets that just like
Hershey.
Hershey's kind of cool. Wilkes-Barre, not bad either.
Yeah.
Philly's market.
The Phantoms.
The Phantoms.
Yeah.
They're in Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, Toronto's got a team.
So there's some, but a lot of them aren't like that.
Yeah.
And so it's a tough gig, man. If you ever played American League and stuff like that, it's a different animal, dude. It truly is. Eating Subway, man.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, so
so
after the Portland gig, he gets hired by Winnipeg under Paul Maurice. I don't even think they probably knew each other. And then Paul gets fired from Winnipeg. Jamie got let go, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And then when Paul Maurice gets the head coaching job in Florida, who does he bring? First guy he brings.
Why
Jamie.
wouldn't you?
So Jamie Kompon, he may not be an overly familiar name to a lot of
Yeah.
listeners, but this guy has been a coach in the NHL for well over 20 years.
Yeah, yes.
Winning 3 different Stanley Cups with legendary Hall of Fame coaches who all want him on their staff.
Yeah, I know. That's why if I'm him, I'm like, I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
I don't want to go grind it right now. I got 3 rings.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making good money.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do everything I can.
And
to
he's
stay
always
here.
been great, man. He's come back to St. Louis and done hockey camps over the years. He's
skated
always
with
joined me on the radio shows, and we used to skate together for years.
He's
back
a
in the
really
day.
good hockey player. I can't believe he didn't make the NHL, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even the NHL guys that skate with him, he'd come out and skate with all the pro guys, and he'd have the puck the whole time. And we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he was a video coach for a long time.
Yeah, I want to ask him about that. Like, guess what you got to start? As a coach, like, you got to start. A lot of coaches just start video coaching.
Yeah.
And they have to grind that out.
So he took his shot to go be a head coach somewhere else, hoping that maybe that would lead to maybe a head coaching job in the NHL. But, hey, sometimes you are what you are. You're an assistant. It's difficult to get that head coaching job, but you just never know, man. Now he's in Florida. If Florida wins another one,
I think you might be able to have a job consistently being an assistant coach. Because a lot of head coaches will get fired and nothing happens for a long time.
maybe Paul Maurice leaves on his own and he says, hey, I want to leave, but I want this guy taking over as the head coach.
Well, Paul Maurice wants Winnipeg to win next year, so I got to ask him about that.
Oh, my God.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
When he said that, were you like...
It just came out of nowhere, yeah.
Interesting. Wait, we're playing next year.
Not next year.
When?
I don't know if he said next year or he hopes they get one or whatever. I mean, maybe he did say next year.
I think he did, Andy. So,
but people are going to like this conversation, man.
He's cool as shit. Yep. Wealth of knowledge in the hockey league.
Yeah.
Wealth of knowledge.
And, when he was coaching with the Blues and Keith Tkachuk playing, and, Matthew and Brady are like little kids running around. Now he's coaching Matthew, winning a Stanley Cup with Matthew.
I bet you Jamie does the back skates. And I bet you he skates with the guys still, too.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
And he will still beat some of the guys in some of these races, which I'm going to, like, do you look at him like, better get going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm old now.
Hey, last episode, I talked about how a high-ranking NHL official told me that Joel Quenneville was going to get reinstated, he and Stan Bowman, very, very soon.
Yeah, you did.
And then it happened like the next day.
Yeah.
I think that the
the
day that the episode came out or whatever. So what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Good. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time. You know what I mean?
You think the NHL purposely waited for there to be no jobs available?
Maybe just so they didn't have, because the NHL, if he gets hired, it's just going to be on them. They're going to take a lot of flack, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So maybe they just did it in a certain way to where maybe nothing's going to happen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows, it kind of settles down a little bit. Everybody's like, what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people aren't, but a lot of people are.
If I'm Stan Bowman, I want that job in Edmonton, man. That's a hell of a job. They keep adding players. Now guys want to go to Edmonton.
Yeah, for right now.
For a year.
Yeah, for right now.
I'll do a 1-year deal. You want a 6-year deal or a 1-year deal?
Hopefully Draisaitl wants to stay.
Still a 1-year deal. If Draisaitl, I feel like he's gone.
He's had enough up there, dude. He looks more miserable than anybody. Like even like
Does he?
Kind of.
He always does. He's always pissy.
He does though. Like in the post game, just like he just is always just fucking downtrodden. Like probably takes a toll on him, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably like, I can't. I think Connor's more like, I got to do it for these people, man. I've been here since day one.
No, Connor knows that he's got to do it for his own legacy.
For sure.
That he already is one of the greatest players to ever play.
Yeah.
He may be the greatest player ever.
He's got to win first.
Hold on. I'm just saying. Not the most accomplished player.
No, he's the most skilled. Might be the most skilled. That's fair.
Most talented player ever.
Most skilled player. The best. I don't know.
Most talented.
Yeah.
But you got to win Stanley Cups to cement your legacy
For sure.
historically as one of the all-time true Mount Rushmore greats.
He will.
And he will.
And he will. And it'll come in a spurt like maybe Stevie Y, where it just all comes together. Maybe it's not with Edmonton. I don't know.
It might not. I feel like he exerted so much mental energy this past year. I couldn't imagine what's going through his head and his mind, knowing that he's got to do that again.
He's probably still sleeping. He's probably
to maybe not win.
Tired. Yeah, I know. It rocks you, dude, when you don't win, when you go that far. Especially what they had to go through.
Especially when you're down 3-0 and you're traveling like crazy. You come back and tie it.
He's probably still sleeping. Like, I got to rest. I got to rest all summer
Like, when will he get over that?
I don't know. Whenever training camp starts, like, we got to do this again. Roll it back. I don't know. It's just it's so difficult. It's so difficult. I don't know how Florida's still sleeping, too. They did 2 years in a row. My God. With short summers. It's tough, man. It's such a grind. Could they take that schedule and, I don't know, somehow not make it as long? The whole season as long. I don't know. Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
Don't be surprised if the Blues still added a defenseman. I still think Doug Armstrong's eyeing one. I think there were some players that teams, most likely including St. Louis, had their eye on that they just couldn't compete with. The contracts they were given.
Yeah.
The Brady Shea contract, the Chandler Stevenson contract.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, I know.
Some of those deals are just out of control.
What does Zadorov get?
He got a lot of money, the Big Z.
Big Z.
He said, don't call me that.
No, don't.
I like how he said it. You should not call him that.
I like how he said that.
I did too.
That's like, self-awareness, Like, no. He was Big Z. I'm not him. I'm actually not even close to him, but I'm still a big boy. Find something different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, am I bothering you?
No, I'm going to look up what Zadorov got.
Okay.
From Boston. Go ahead and start talking about.
Well, I'm going to talk about bench clears. I'll tell you that right now, man. I had this badass. Dude, this is like perfect, dude, for the summertime. It is. It's really thin too. I did get chirped by some Blues fans and stuff like that, but I'm like, let me wear the old school Devils, man. I got drafted by this team. Like, I know I'm in Missouri, but so what? This was cool as hell, man. I wore these everywhere. I did have a Blues one down there too, but you just go to benchclears.com, baby. And they got everything. They got American League jerseys. They got anything you need. They also got cool sweatshirts and whatnot, man. They got it all. That's Bench Clearers. They got great product right here, baby. This is perfect for the summer, but they also got winter stuff as well.
You can get a Blues one too. And you know what? You can get all teams, home, road, and alternate jerseys too.
USA jerseys, Canada jerseys, all that
International jerseys, American Hockey League jerseys, fully licensed by the NHL and the American Hockey League. These things are so light, they're so comfortable. I wore a Sabres one to a pool party yesterday. It was the life of the party, the hit of the party. I've got so many other ones, man. I mean, we're going to kind of bust them out. We didn't wear one today, but this Blues one's cool. The Devils one's cool. They've got all teams, like I said. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. You're going to save 20%, baby.
That's it, baby, right there. That's Bench Clearers.
They have they may have a special right now that's happening. It's like buy one, get one 50% off or something,
I saw
too.
that. Yeah, buy one, get one half off. Because I see all their stuff on Facebook, man. So
check that out.
Yep.
I was very happy you actually delivered a good video.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's hard to
you weren't paying attention to what you were doing.
It was morning time. You think I would have been that way?
You weren't paying attention.
That's why I went out there in the morning.
I was like, pay attention to what you're doing.
No. You worry about driving.
Yeah.
I knew I had nobody in front of me for a long time. It was wide open space. That's why I did that. But I wanted to get going. I wanted to be cruising. That thing goes fast, little formula.
First Form and firstform.com. Again, use our link. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Get it today. Cam, my muscle, my muscle body mass has never been higher.
Really?
Yes.
You've been working out? Doing what?
Push-ups.
How many?
Running.
How many push-ups can you do? Well, what do you do?
I usually
Why
do.
don't you tell the people so they know?
I usually do like 4 sets of like 25 each.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's it. And change it up. You could do this. You could do that.
Yeah.
Wide, close. Get your triceps going.
Yeah.
Dude, you could just do push-ups. Herschel Walker, baby. You could just do push-ups and be freaking cut up. Push-ups to squats. You don't need any weight. Like, you really could tone your body just by body weight.
Hey, I want to give Landon Sim a shout out because I was doing a media training with all the Blues prospects.
Yeah.
There's like 50 of them or whatever, 40, whatever it is. And so one by one, we do these mock interviews in front of the whole group, too. It was a lot of fun, man. They were great. And so when Landon Sim comes up in front of the whole crew, he's like, yeah, I love your guys' podcast. So he said that. So we'll give you a shout out,
baby. What's up?
He's the guy that got suspended.
Don't worry about that. You had a
Talk
lot.
to him. Talk to him.
Listen, dude, everybody had your back, okay? Everybody had your back. And he is a pussy, just so you know, for ratting you out like that. Fucking baby. We got you, man. We're on your side, just so you know.
He was running.
And I like your daddy.
He was running around hitting people
Good.
too at camp.
Good. Stick out, dude. Be mean like your dad.
Yeah.
Big Johnny was not easy to play against.
Jason
dude.
Arnott's nephew was there.
He's a good guy too.
Wade
We like
Arnott's
him.
son. We'll give Wade a big shout out. His son was there playing. So I mean, it was a fun weekend, man. Some big ass kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Landon Sim, I felt bad though, Cam. I said during the mock interview, and again, it's not going out it's not on TV.
Yeah.
It's not going out on the airwaves. But I said, what was it like to win the Memorial Cup? And everybody was like, oh my God, they lost the Memorial Cup.
Andy.
Well, they won the OHL championship. They had a great run.
I know.
And I was like, I know Saginaw won. God damn it.
Yeah, you fucked that. That's all
Felt
good.
bad.
It's all good.
He was cool about it, though.
I did that with Chelios one time.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was it on the podcast?
No, it was at a bar
Oh,
in
yeah,
Chicago.
that's right.
Stupid. He looked at me like that's why he looked at me like I was a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He thought you were.
And I was dating a girl at the time.
Okay,
I was
well,
such an idiot.
she thought you were a moron,
Yeah,
too.
I know. Because I was.
How could you do that?
Don't know. How can you do that?
I know. Isn't that amazing?
It's very amazing.
And like, I was interviewing like Dylan Peterson, who played at BU. I'm like, they did not win the national championship.
Yeah, now it's in your head. Like,
I'm like, did they go? They went to the Frozen Four, though.
yeah. Yeah.
They did.
So.
But they lost to Boston College. Macklin Celebrini signs, by the way, so give him a shout out.
shout
He
out,
looked
man.
good at prospect camp
Good.
for the Sharks.
Well, he's supposed to be good.
He is.
You know?
Yeah,
He's going to make that team.
He is.
I know.
I thought that this was like known knowledge that he was signing with the Sharks. I didn't know like he hadn't announced it or they hadn't announced it. I know they just got him signed. I thought everyone knew that he was coming out of Boston University because the program knew that he wasn't coming back for like several months. So I just thought he was like universally known.
Yeah, I guess not. You know,
So
go play pro.
Go play pro.
Go play pro. You're pro.
Yeah, some of these guys, man, that like
Play against grown men.
go back to school when you basically have a spot waiting for you. Like,
Is that a Snuggerud, you think?
I don't know if
I don't know
would.
if he'd have a spot.
I don't know if he'd have a spot right
I don't
off
know
the
if he
bat.
would.
I think it would really help him to go play in the American League. Now, I will say this: if you're at a
Big time.
big time college, would I rather play my junior year at a big time university versus playing in the American League? I don't know, man.
Well, it's not about that though. It's about what league am I going to get better at?
Yeah.
And you're going to be better playing in the American League than college, dude. I'm sorry. You're playing freaking 70 games there, man.
Yeah.
You're playing against 35-year-old
It
men.
may not be as glamorous
It's
all
not at
the
all.
time.
It's god awful. It's not. It's not nice at all. You're traveling all the time.
But
damn
you
time.
just go
you got
down
more
there-
money up there. Like you're probably traveling. It's way nicer. You're only doing it in the weekends. Like
Yeah.
you know, like there's more games.
The facilities are
The
incredible.
facilities are nice there. They're not in the American League. I don't know now, man. Maybe they've
Maybe
changed.
some are better than others, but I bet you.
But
a lot
I
of them
think
aren't.
you'll have a wake up call in the American League. Like, whoa, okay, these guys are bigger, stronger, they're faster, but it is a little unorganized. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? So, but anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, no, it's interesting. He's probably making the right decision. If he feels like it's the right decision, I don't know if it's going to hurt him as much. You know, like he's a pretty big prospect. He may need some time in the minors regardless, but he'll play in the NHL at the end of next season. Like it's hard to get these guys to sign if you don't guarantee them a spot in the American or in the NHL right off the bat. At least when they sign late at the end of the year. Like they're not signing to go to the American League.
No, I know.
They sign, okay, we'll sign now, but we want to finish the season in the NHL.
Depends on where they're at.
It's typically the way it works. with a
Depends
lot
on
of
where
these
they're
guys.
at. Like you're just gonna bring in Snuggerud if you're winning games and stuff like that and throw them in the mix?
Maybe, but probably actually. A lot of these NHL or college free agents, Cam, they all sign and they go straight to the NHL and they play the last, 8 games of the year, 5 games of the year, and then they may never play in the NHL again.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I've seen that before.
But that's how they get them signed.
I see them get called up and never see them again. They play
Never
3 games
play
at
in
the
the
end of the
NHL
year,
again.
never see them again.
That's how you get them signed.
Yeah, that's fine. What you got to do.
So firstform.com/CamandStrick, use our link and get yourself jacked, get yourself healthy, get yourself feeling good, get yourself some new apparel.
Balances me out, man. It truly does, especially on a weekend like that. Just to have just a couple different things
It's a
down
cool-ass
there,
company, too, man.
So check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out, baby.
All right, Proper Cannabis. Listen, Cam, this is a new sponsor that's coming on board here with the Cam and Strick podcast. We couldn't be happier. You got the hat going right there.
Right
Proper
here.
Cannabis. Listen, they're available online right now. You can use our promo code CamandStrick20. You get 20% off.
Oh man,
So that's a pretty good deal.
Damn right.
Use the promo code CamandStrick20. It is live. It is active right now. CamandStrick20. That saves you 20% off. 11 stores statewide here in Missouri. If you're in the Missouri area, man, stop by Proper Cannabis. The new flagship Kirkwood store is coming up very, very soon. It's an incredible looking facility. Have you driven by that one, Manchester
Yes, I have.
and Lindbergh?
It's huge.
Dude, this place looks unbelievable. So check that out. Missouri-based vertical cannabis company comprised of Proper Cannabis, Honeybee Edibles. They got the Ratio. They got the Good Night, man. Listen, people need to know when it comes to cannabis, it's not all about sitting on the couch eating Doritos all day long.
No,
Cam.
no.
This is for health benefits.
Yeah.
For sleep.
Yep.
This
Pain.
is for pain.
Yep. A lot. There's a lot.
Illness.
Yep.
Whatever it is, man, that you're dealing with. Talk to one of the professionals and let them educate you and help you.
Absolutely. They got different options with different things too, man.
Yeah.
Different grades of all kinds of different stuff. So you might not like one thing, but you might like another thing. So talk to them, educate yourself, and maybe you'll be feeling better.
Hand-picked selections, unparalleled customer service, great customer service. Use that promo code CamandStrick20, and they'll hook it up, man.
Damn right.
Proper Cannabis. At Bellman Cam, you get no.
Oh, swinging dicks, man. None of that crap. None. So many options over there in Troy, Missouri, by the way. Troy, Missouri. They got it all. I like those Denali trucks. You know what I mean? I do. Even the big Dodge Rams are cool. If you like Jeeps, if your kids turning a certain age and they want a Jeep, they got all kinds of different options there.
Yeah.
Those Jeep Gladiators are really cool. The Buicks are nice, man. I see Buicks all over the place.
Buick and GMC.
They're just nice. Like they're not as expensive at all, and they might get a weird name until Tiger Woods came in and started driving a Buick around. But they drive like Cadillacs, dude, and they're not that expensive.
Dude, they're beautiful.
They are
You
nice.
can get that third row Enclave too. They got so many different things to choose from. You got the GMC on one side of the street. With Buick on the other side, it's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Cam.
You got it all out there.
You see a
in
lot
Troy,
of Jeeps,
Missouri.
probably pulling boats and stuff like that.
No, not Jeeps.
How'd you get your boat down there?
What do you mean, dude?
You just stay down there all the time?
Yeah.
Do people still bring their boat back and keep it in their driveway? Like,
At the lake, you probably have a place down there, or you rent out a slip that you keep your boat down there. Unless you like taking your boat from the lake to Table Rock and whatnot. But usually you do that with smaller boats.
Yeah.
You got a big boat, you're not hauling it.
You
It's a
stay
pain in
in,
the ass,
huh?
man. It's a pain. Yeah, you stay there. You either rent a slip or you have a condo.
What's a boat cost?
They're so expensive. It's
Are they?
unbelievable.
Like, how much?
Like, what do you want? What do you want?
Like
you
a
want
36 foot.
Okay, how about the one that I was riding today? That's like a fucking 2,000. If that's a brand new one, 200 grand.
And how long will it last for?
Depends on how you treat it. The way you drive, shit, a week. Depends on what happens to it, man. Depends on if you get sick of. It's a cash cow too down there because you're running over different big logs and stuff like that. You could pull your whole unit out, man. You could rip up your freaking prop. Like, there's a lot of ways to fuck your boat up. But if you know what you're doing, you take care of it, and you have the right people down there that knows what they're doing and taking care of it. They'll last for a long time, man.
Yeah.
I beat the shit out of my boat, and that thing, like I tore it up because I was on the water. I was
Sounds like a
hitting different
terrible
things.
investment.
Well, if you had the money at the time, you could do it, and I was very, very. It was cool, and not to mention they gave me a fat check, the insurance company, because it was.
Oh,
flooded.
when you totaled it?
Yeah, when I totaled it.
Oh, that's
so,
good for you.
you know.
Okay, so Bellman, they'll give you a flavored water and sushi too. Great customer
Good
service. Great customer service. I had a Danny boy.
Danny, what up, babe? Hope you guys had a good 4th of July, man.
Yes, sir.
Right on.
And Dale?
Dale, Kenny, what's up, baby? Let's go. I hope you guys had a good weekend, dude. I really do.
Yeah,
Sure you did. So,
I'm sure they did too.
yeah. Good old boys, man. They know how to celebrate the 4th.
I was at so many pools this past weekend, 2 different pools, and both of them had their plaster done by Shilly Plastering. Did you get
Hell yeah.
plastered this weekend?
Yeah.
Get plastered with Shilly
I
plaster.
did, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you?
I did.
Were you up late?
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Like how late?
I don't know, Andy.
Like for you, you like to, you're in
I
bed
like to
by
watch
8
the
o'clock.
stars on the dock at night and jam out to
That's
music,
the best,
dude.
Does
Not
he
going
have
to
he's
bed.
got a nice setup and everything?
Yeah.
Would you buy a place down there?
No. Nah, can't afford it. And
You know who else was at the lake?
Crusoe?
Our boy Shilly.
Well, yeah, he is, baby. I knew he had a
Ryan,
lake house
baby.
down there. I knew he had a house down there. For
He was
sure.
down there. Say what's up to Ryan.
What's up, Rye? Damn right. A lot of pools down there too, man. I tell you that. Monster pools.
I would need
Jesus.
to have a pool.
Yeah. I wouldn't, because I'm not getting in the lake.
No.
I'm like, I got in on a paddleboard, but I didn't go underneath the water. I didn't want to get an ear infection because it just, unless I'm way up mile marker at like 40, maybe I'll get in.
Yeah.
But
Third generation family business, man. I love the family businesses. Family owned since 1950. What does that tell you
Well, it
right
means
there?
that they're experienced and it's worked out. They've been doing something right for a long
Listen,
time.
they plaster commercial pools, residential pools, home plastering, the only authorized PebbleTech applicator in the Midwest.
Damn.
What is-
Damn.
The only, can I repeat that, please, real quick? The only authorized PebbleTech applicator in the Midwest, backed by a solid 5-year warranty.
5 years, baby. A lot of stuff goes wrong with pools, and you got to get it fixed, and you got to have them do it.
They are so professional. Their team is professional. Their craftsmen are professional. Turn your backyard into an oasis by getting plastered with Shilly plastering, and that's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, turn your backyard into like an experience. And don't just waste. Don't have one of these backyards you don't get to enjoy.
Yeah. If you have a pool, you're enjoying your backyard.
Turn it into an oasis.
If you have a pool, you're enjoying your backyard. You big time are. Now you don't want to leave your house. You don't need to. You got everything right there.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a lake house. You got a pool.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I get my satisfaction sitting in my backyard, my pool. I wish I had one.
I'm getting messages from people who are talking about ordering hats from Hat Launch too, Cam. A lot of people are going to be like, dude, I checked out that Hat Launch, man. I'm ordering some hats right now. I'm about to order some hats. Talk to another guy, our boy from Local Legend.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be ordering some hats. There's a lot of different things we've got
You got to
going
go through
on.
them.
Yes.
When you go through the best of the best. That's why First Form does the same
Yes.
thing.
So if you want a custom hat, America's most authorized and #1 source of customized hats is...
It's Hat Launch. It's Hat Launch. Check
Say hi
them
to
out.
Danny.
Danny, what up, man?
Jordan.
Happy 4th, Jordan. Happy 4th of July,
His daughter
guys.
just had a birthday too, so happy birthday to his daughter,
Right
Danny's
on.
daughter.
They're doing damn good work.
Turned
They
1
are.
years old.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why all the big dogs use them. That's why all the big dogs use them.
All right, so listen. So check out Hat Launch. Do it today. HatLaunch.com, best in the business. They got shirt launch too. You can get one of these bad boys also.
Yeah.
Somebody's messaging me. They got a Yoink hat too. So if you want
They
to order
wanna
a Yoink hat, man, you can
get one.
order. You can order a Yoink hat from our friends over there at Hat Launch. All right, Jamie Kompon, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, dude. One of the best kept secrets in the NHL, unless you know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Jamie Kompon.
Right here.
Now on the Cam and Strick podcast. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview.
We get our workout in before anyone arrives. Many of the players arrive, and it kind of sets us off on the right start to us.
Where are you working out at? The rink? What do you mean the players arrive? Is it like a gym or what is it?
No, it's in Florida. That's what our routine is. Here, I just go to the gym, and I live a mile and a half from the Kings practice rink, so I get to skate a lot, see my buddies. It's good. I've only been home for about 4 days, but got to see a lot of people already, so it's been great.
So you're still skating all the time? We just hit record and
Yeah,
we just go,
we just
Jamie. Yeah, we just have conversation.
Yeah.
There's no method to the
that's
madness.
Fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's the only time I get this. As you get older, Andy, as you understand this, the only time you just can't pick a spot and say, "Hey, we're going to meet at Obi Clark's or we're going to meet somewhere." You got to pick your spots. So the best place to see everybody is at the hockey rink, and we have a great group here, 5 days a week. 5 mornings a week we skate, and it's awesome.
Five
It's awesome.
mornings a week you skate?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
dominating?
It's great because it's a perfect time. I'm home here by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're up early. I'm up early anyway, so
Yep.
I'm home here. I have coffee in my backyard with my wife, and now I kind of get on with my day.
Well, I remember skating with you back in the day, and we had a bunch of NHL guys out there, and you'd have the puck the whole damn time. So are you dominating everybody and where you're at right now?
Slow down, Jamie.
I mean, come on, man. It's
Settle
not
down.
fair. It's not
5
fair.
days a week.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, it just keeps my mind fresh. Hey, you know what? It's all about relationships and family. And, we've lived down here for quite a few years now. And these people down here are my family. And I really enjoy, no different than St. Louis, no different than the guys at Kirkwood and St. Louis, and seeing those guys 4 or 5 times a week whenever I could get out there. It's the same idea. You know how it is, Cam. It's something that you miss when you retire. You miss the locker room, you miss the banter. And, as you get older and we don't have kids, the best part about the game is just the relationships you formed and the bonds you formed. And that's the great part of the game.
Hey, so what's out that window? Yeah, is that the ocean right there? Are you on the beach? Where are you at?
No. I'm at my house here. I'm not at the ocean. Not at the ocean. I'm about 2 miles from the ocean, but it's good enough. It's nice enough. We love where we live and we love our little area. So
You don't live next to Kopitar? He's not your next door neighbor.
Yeah.
no, he's in a different zip code, different area code, different pay grade, different everything. But
Hey, how is your energy right now? Like, are you exhausted? I mean, you guys have had back-to-back long runs, man. I got to say congratulations to you, Jamie. I mean, you've had an incredible career. It continues. You're not done yet. You got a long way to go. You're still in your prime. I mean, you've won 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. It's an incredible accomplishment. So first off, congratulations once again. But how you holding up energy-wise? You feel good?
this is like a shot of lightning through me right now. It's an energy bolt.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I don't, when you look back and you reflect back on what, it's not what I've accomplished, it's what we've accomplished in the teams that we've been with. I've been very fortunate to be around great people, staff, and great players. And the energy and the synergy that it's provided me has been incredible. Like, it's being in Florida, and it's no different than anywhere. You get a little shot of adrenaline. And last year we got a taste of it going to the finals and falling short. And then this year, having the year that we had and the group that we have is just, it's so special. It was really special. And, I guess I don't want to come off as being egotistical or anything like that, but this one was different because I had a chance to actually step outside of where I was. So I'm looking at it through a different lens. So when we win, the pure raw emotion of seeing Paul Maurice after 30 years and working with him for, kind enough to bring me to Florida with him and work with him for 8+ years now, and seeing his raw emotion, seeing his family, seeing Tomo Ruutu, seeing our coaching staff and what it means, the fans, the players, the Barkovs, the Matthew Tkachuk, watching Matthew and Brady and Taryn and Chantel and Keith all embracing, after the game. And it just, that to me is just, that was awesome. Like, it sends shivers down my spine right now because it's just, that's what it's about right there. You see that now, I've experienced it, and now just to take a step back and see everybody else enjoy what I've experienced is just, there's nothing else like it. There really isn't.
Have you checked on Walt? Is he still crashing all the Stanley Cup parties with all the guys? Is he?
Oh yeah, he's got a private jet going from one to one. It's just on. It's on. It's on for him. He's a character. I love Walt. He's been awesome. He's around the rink. I don't know who he works for. I don't know if he's a dad or he's with the Blues or who's he with. Is he with us? I'm not sure. But Walt's awesome. And, seeing Matthew just evolve, and it's unbelievable. I remember them in my office, and they were like 5 years old, 6 years old. They were in my office. I had to put them in the chair, and it was just so cool to see the transformation of our team and the addition of Matthew and what he brought, and not only as a player, but as a professional, as a human in that locker room, and how he cares for everybody, no matter if you're the security guard, you're the police officer, you're the janitor. He is totally respectful, and the way he treats people, it's contagious because now everyone's got to do that. It's not a one-time thing. It's an everyday thing. It's now habitual, and everyone does it. So it's huge for us.
Hey, how'd you guys react last year when Walt, he's in Ottawa watching Brady play, and he calls you guys soft? And I mean, I called him the executive of the year. He should have won the executive of the year last year because he calls out the team, and you guys just go on a run right after that. Like, what were you guys saying internally after he said that? Did that bother you? Were you like, he's kind of right? Like, what was your reaction to it?
No, honestly, Andy, and I'm being very serious, I didn't find out until like 5 days later. Like, I don't read media. It doesn't make me better by reading how bad so-and-so is, or I'm not doing my job or anything like that. So, everyone's got their own opinions. You siphon through it. And then someone came to me and said, "Hey, do you hear what Walt said?" And I'm like, I have no idea. What did Walt say? Like, I'm not the head coach, so I don't have to be up to date. I don't have a PR staff that tells us what's going on and, what to be aware of or anything like that. So, and I don't do media. So to me, we responded right. I know Paul had a conversation about it with us later on, and that's kind of like the first time I heard about it. And so I think it was more so that we just had to recognize who we were and what we were. It was always there within us, except the way we were playing wasn't indicative of who we were. And so, Walt kind of lit a bit of a fire, and I don't think Matthew was too pleased with what Dad had to say, but, he was a little, but it is what it is. And it got us to where we needed to get to, and obviously falling short the way we did. But now we experienced it. Now we knew what it took. And it was huge for us to get there last year and fall short. Obviously you never want to fall short, but to fall short and to get back there. 209 games over 2 years is a pretty good run, not including your exhibition games. So
you guys, the Stanley Cup final last year, I mean, it was great. I mean, a lot of people were watching it, a lot of drama, I feel like it's two different series. Like, what happened? I mean, you guys were rocking and rolling. You're up by 3. All of a sudden, McDavid starts finding his legs a little bit. Like, were you guys, okay, we need to figure this out a little bit? A lot of different meetings. Like, what'd you guys notice once he started turning on everything?
Well, I think a little bit of it was self-inflicted. And you played the game, and you understand how hard it is to close a series out.
Yeah.
No matter what, like, especially a Stanley Cup game-clinching series. So when you have you're up 3-0, you play right, you do everything right, we're in the right frame of mind, and then that morning in Edmonton, you got 135 to 150 people flying up, whether they're family members, and did your kid get on the plane? Is the baby okay? How's it going to react to flying? Is my dad on the plane? And so your mind, let's be honest, your mind starts to wander. This is a childhood dream. The only one that's been there and done that was Vlad Tarasenko. Like, as a player, Carter Verhaeghe was part of that Stanley Cup, but he never played in the game-clinching Game 6 when they won the Cup in Tampa. So Vlad kind of understood what was going on, but until you experience it, you don't realize it. And we're in a good spot. We're 2-1 down in Edmonton in a game clinching, a series clinching game. And then they go on and score right away. And we kind of just lost our way a little bit. We just, and let's be honest, and you know how it is. And hey, Edmonton's a great team. They're an offensive juggernaut. Those guys get rolling. Hey, they're rolling. Let's not kid ourselves here. But when you're playing with house money, they don't care. Like they can be footloose and fancy free. They can go down and give up a 3-0, but they don't care because they've got to score. That's what they do, right? So they start stretching us out. They start getting their 2-on-1s. We gap off a little bit because now we're a little nervous. We're caught in between. So it's getting back to that hard gap, tight gap game that we play, the hard forecheck team that we are. And I thought Game 4, it just got away from us. We forgot to play the game in the second and third period. We were so focused on the result as opposed to being focused on the process. And then in game 5, that game was like, as far as I'm concerned, that was our best 5-on-5 game of the series. Like, we dominated that game 5-on-5. I think the chances, we had them at 17-3. They scored 2 power play goals. They got a shorthanded goal. Their power play, that drives them. Our penalty kill was outstanding. We gave up a 5-on-3 goal. Okay, 5-on-3 goal in an 8-1 game. That's it, is what it is. Their power play won them 1 game. That's it. So we got back. We have a lot of confidence in what we do. Paul Maurice is an incredible, incredible coach. And he doesn't get enough credit after 30 years in the league and the teams that he coached. He does not get enough credit for what he does to the players and how badly the players want to succeed for him. And we just needed to refocus and remind ourselves who we were and what we did. Hey, they get paid too. Let's be honest. If it was easy, everyone would do it. You go up 3-0, you think it's going to be easy. Game 4, game 5 doesn't go our way. Game 6, it's in their building. They're still playing with house money. So now all of a sudden, game 7, where's the pressure? I'm not sure if it's on us or on them, because now if they make a mistake, it ends up in the back of their net. They give up a 3-on-0. It's in the back of their net. How are they feeling? Who's scoring the first goal? We scored the first goal. That put them on their heels. They love playing it from ahead, like every team does. But we scored the first goal. They score on a stretch play. Then we just clamp it down and we play our tight gap game and we play right defensively. And that's our identity of our team. So, at the end of the day, they're a great team. I give them all the credit in the world. Come back from 3-0. We didn't expect it to be easy. That's for sure.
I didn't think you guys were going to win game 4, 5, or 6, really. I mean, I wasn't thinking ahead to 5 or 6, but at game 4, I'm like, okay, they're probably going to win 1. You guys will win at home in 5. And then I'm like, I don't know, game 5, coming back, I just had a feeling that Edmonton was going to, find a way to win 2 in a row. Game 6 back in their building, I'm like, well, they could easily win back at home. But then I felt like you guys maybe were able to take a deep breath and maybe regroup a little bit heading into game 7. Maybe they felt a little more pressure. Now they're going to have to make some adjustments, like you said. But I'm curious, getting back on that flight after losing game 5 at home. Like, nobody wants to get back on that flight, man. That's a long, long flight. I'm curious how you made it through these long flights. What was that like mentally, to having to get your entire team going from preparing to celebrate the first Stanley Cup in franchise history to now heading back to Edmonton for that long-ass flight?
Well, it was, our players, like I said, you can say, I can sit here and tell you we have a special group, but there's all special groups. But these guys really do, there's something different about our team. Like, they genuinely understand. They don't care. They celebrate everything. Like, Barkov doesn't care if he scores 30 points and our fourth liner gets 30 points. He doesn't care as long as we win. That's the kind of team we have. It doesn't matter, whether Matthew scores or Matthew doesn't score. If he helps contribute, that's all that matters. It's everyone pulling from the same end of the rope. So there was never any loss of confidence, shall we say. Everyone just kept forging ahead. We understood they're a good team. They're a dynamic team. And we had to make sure that we played to our identity. And no one wanted to get on that flight. Let's be honest. Who wants to get on that flight for 6.5 hours to go up to Edmonton to come home afterwards? And unfortunately, it didn't go our way. But we knew game 7, we had to make some adjustments. Not so much adjustments, just get back to who we were and our core value of what we do and what each player does. And Paul, I'll tell you, he never lost faith. He never lost the room. He just continued to forge ahead in terms of what we did, in terms of the video. And it wasn't a long video. It was just, hey, this is who we are. Let's get back to this. This is what we have to do. This is what they're going to do. Now, how do we counter that? What did we do in the first 3 games that made us successful? Yeah. Can you say game 1 they should have won? Sure. Bob stole the game. That's fine. Okay. And they won game 5 because their power play won them the game. So, okay. So we're even Steven. Now we're going back and forth here. Who's the better team? Who plays better 5-on-5? Let's stay out of the box. Let's play 5-on-5 hockey. And that's what we did.
What do you say about that Sam Bennet?
I mean, I feel like he's just in everything. He's in the mix everywhere around the ice. Yeah, he'll take a penalty here and there, but God, he's hitting guys. He's scoring big-time goals. He's creating plays in dirty areas. Like, does he smile ever? Because Maurice said that he finally smiled at the end. What can you say about him?
I love Sam. Sam is an identity player. He is absolutely the identity of teams. We played against him in Calgary, and in Calgary when we were in Winnipeg for 6 years, and I just didn't understand what he was because he never played in the middle. And when he played in the middle, he'd play in the middle for a game or a shift or 2 shifts, and then he'd get back to the wing. And Sam has got unbelievable speed. He's an unbelievable competitor. Like, he's a throwback. He's back in the John Wensick era.
Oh.
Like, seriously, like, you don't know. He can go around you, go through you, poke your eyes out, or he can just skate away and smile, and not even smile, just glare at you. And you watch the respect that he gets, because in any scrum, no one wants to grab him. And if someone wants to grab him, they better understand that they want to push the limit. You don't want to push the limit. Like Sam, I was so excited about being able to coach Sam once we got there to Winnipeg and understand who he really was, because he is a center iceman. He's not a winger. You never saw him carry his speed through the neutral zone. You never saw that speed. You don't see that speed on the wing because he's got to get going with the puck. And now he gets the puck. He transports the puck. Him and Matthew have an unbelievable relationship on the ice. He gets the puck to Matthew. Matthew gets the puck to him. And like you said, he scores big time goals. He comes up in big time situations. He's a fierce competitor. Like, at the end of the game, I don't know. Everybody remembers the last 15 seconds where we're scrumming in the corner and I'm hugging him at the end of the game. And yes, he is smiling, because I've never seen him smile, and I work with him every day, and I never seen him smile. And he goes, "You're not getting this smile off my face." And we were kind of joking about that. But I said, there's that number 97 guy and Ekholm alone in front of the net. He goes, "Jamie, that puck wasn't coming out of the corner."
Yeah.
And he stared at me, and I'm like, "Okay, I understand, Sam. It wasn't coming out of the corner."
That's
like,
Mikkola time too. That's Mikkola time.
Mikko.
Mikkola, Forsling, it was everybody. It was like there was no way that puck was coming out of the corner. And when Sam said that, when Benny said that to me, I looked at him. I go, "I got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good."
I love it. Hey, listen, I got to ask you this, because you've coached some incredible players, man. I mean, over the time of your career, you go back to St. Louis with Pronger, McInnes, and Dimitra and all these guys, Dougie Waite and Big Walt. Like, you had some great players. But you've had Anze Kopitar. You've had Sasha Barkov. And I'm just concerned. They always say, Barkov, one of the most underrated players. I mean, obviously, that's changed now with him winning, and people realize how good he is. But what are the similarities between those two? Are there any similarities? Are they completely different? Like, how do you break down the two of those players?
Well, you can throw Jonathan Toews in there too.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Jonathan Toews, Kopitar, Barkov, they're synonymous with Selke, right? Like, that's, and Taser will say, "Well, it was Hossa that helped me," but Jonathan's he's a pretty complete player. Mm-hmm. And they compete, their compete level is off the charts. And I'm not talking about running guys through the end boards, but it's just their compete on the puck, how hard they are, how tenacious they are. Like, Barky he's a big human. Like, he's a 6'4", 220-pound, muscular. Like, when he leans on you, he leans on you. And the skating ability for all three of them separate them. And the tenacity on the puck, their ability to stay on pucks, to strip pucks, like the quick stick. And then not only play against the best players, but to go out and contribute on the offensive side. And some of the stuff that he does is just, it's incredible. Like you kind of get in awe you watch Kopi as a young player, and then watch him blossom, and you watch Toews, just reaching his prime. And now you watch Barkov, and there's so many similarities. And I think the biggest similarity for all of them is they're great human beings. Again, I'm being serious. Like, we can take hockey, and you take hockey and do whatever, but they are incredible human beings. Like, Anze Kopitar, an unbelievable human. Jonathan Toews, unbelievable human. I didn't know Sasha Barkov because obviously you're in the East. I've been in the West my whole career until I got there 2 years ago. And getting to know Sasha the first year and understanding who he is as a person. He's a better human than a hockey player. All three of them are. And that separates him, and that's what makes him great, because he's humble. Very first thing he said to me, he goes, I want to learn from you. I want to be the best. Always tell me if I'm doing something wrong. And like, I'm going, you're pretty freaking good right now. Like, you don't need anything from me, but he always comes and he wants to learn. How does he stay on top? How do these players stay on top? And you know that, Cam. Like, how do these NHL players be the best? They want to be coached. They want to find something else in their game. They want to excel, continue to get better. The longevity of some of these players, well, why? Why is Joe Pavelski still playing? Like, why was he still playing? Do you know all these guys that are longer in the tooth, they continue to play because they continue to get better. They continue to excel at their craft. They want to be the best, and that's why they want to be coached. And all three of them are the same way. And Barkov, like, at the center stage, him against McDavid and Draisaitl. And he held Draisaitl off the board.
He did.
Like, that's pretty impressive. He held Zibanejad off the board. He held Pasternak off the board. He held those guys in Tampa off the board. So at the end of the day, he's a pretty good freaking player.
So what is it that, like, what would differentiate the three of those guys? Is there something that Kopitar does that separates himself from Barkov and Toews, and vice versa? You talk about Toews, Barkov. Are they all just the equivalent of the sum of the parts in terms of what they bring to the table?
They got great hockey sense. They got great anticipation. They got great sticks. They're tenacious. They're competitive. They're hard on pucks. So when you get that puck, they're looking to strip it and go. They're looking to make the next play. They're not just looking to strip it, and they're looking to, okay, we're going to turn this into, because let's be honest, when you're playing best on best, that's when you get your opportunities, because you know that if you strip this puck, that's your opportunity to strike. That's your opportunity right there, because your best player just stripped their best player. And now you got to counter that. You got to take advantage of that opportunity. You got to make them defend. And that's one thing that Sasha's so big, Kopi's so big. They hang on to pucks. They force teams to defend. So you go out there in a shift, it's a momentum shift. It's a momentum changer. They're able to control that side. You have a tough shift the shift before. You send those guys over the boards. Next thing you know, you got the momentum back. You got to capture that momentum back. And he's one of those guys, but his anticipation, his stick, his hockey sense, it's the same as Jonathan and same as Anze. Like, they have that ability, and it's no reason why. Like, it's no fluke that they're Selke award winners. You know, like, you watch him in center stage where he goes back and strips McDavid. And I got to put a plug in. Like, Matthew Tkachuk is a pretty good skater because he hunted down McDavid in that one game, right? He hunted him down. So we know that. We've seen that.
He's self-deprecating on his skating. He says he's not a good, and that's always been the knock on him since he was young, man. But he always made up for it with all his skill. Like, he's incredibly skilled, and his hockey sense is off the charts. But he gets around the ice fine now, doesn't he?
He gets around the ice more than fine, because we have video evidence that he hunted down McDavid on a 4-on-4 and thwarted him on a breakaway. So we have video evidence of that.
You got to tell his dad that, because his dad always said he had a piano on his back, and I'm like, I don't see that. I don't see it. He gets around the ice pretty. What about Paul Maurice? Like, what separates him? You know, it's hard to get everybody to respect you as a head coach. You know, you got to sit guys out. You got to do this. You got to juggle a lot of things. But what separates Paul Maurice?
His ability to connect with the players. He tells the players the way it is. He's honest with the players. He kicks them in. You know, one of his quotes, I believe someone sent me, he had a tirade and he was venting on the bench, and said, yeah, I think our players need a little profanity in their life. You know, like, and then on the other side of it, he's very calm, and he knows how to connect with the players. He really does. He can walk into a Fortune 500 club. He can walk in with the presidents, all the presidents, and he can have a conversation with them and talk at their level. He is an incredible speaker. He's an incredible motivator, but the details of the game. He sees them. He's able to articulate the details of the game to the players so that he breaks it down to the simplest form so they understand. And it's not like we have a lot of rules. We tried over the 8 years I've been with him, we've tried to simplify our game so that our players could just play and not think and not be robotic and just play and play as hard as they can and compete as hard as they can each and every shift. And so I think that evolution and to be in the game for 30 years is and to get this opportunity was really special, really, really special. So what separates him, you ask, and what makes him a good coach is that his connection with the players. And he tells the players the way it is. And it's not that, hey, you guys all suck. It's no, this is where we're at. This is where we need to get to. And this is how we're going to get there. He's got a plan. He always has a plan. He's very methodical in how he approaches things. He's one of the few coaches that you can throw, like we're having a conversation here. So we'll have a conversation for 3 minutes. We'll throw out 30 things or 50 things, let's say. He'll put it in a bow tie, go out and talk to the team in 3 minutes and get the right 3 points from listening to us three talk. That's a skill, like his ability to get the right message, figure out what's right, and then articulate it to the team.
Go ahead.
Well, listen, people need to know, I keep talking about the great players you've coached. I don't know how many Norris Trophy winners you've coached. I mean, Keith and Doughty and Pronger and McInnes, obviously. I don't know, I may be missing somebody. But what do they all have in common? I mean, are they all different? Because you watch them play. Keith is way different than Chris Pronger. He's different than McInnes, certainly different than Doughty. They're all different from each other. But they all, kind of bring a similar dominating ability and the ability to control the game at their own pace in terms of how they do it. I mean, we're talking about 4 incredible players, all going to be, Hall of Famers if they're not in there already.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. They all bring a different element to their game, and they're all effective, and they're all play 30 plus minutes a night. Like, let's be honest. When I was in St. Louis, you either have Pronger or McInnes on the ice, or you have them both on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a pretty dynamic duo that you have out there. And I think the big thing is that you look at Prongs, he can play the power play, but he kills penalties. He makes up ice plays. He gets up the ice. Al is just cerebral in how he plays, makes outlet passes, breaks plays up. His hockey sense, his anticipation. Same thing with Duncan Keith and Drew Doughty. But the one thing is I'll go back to what they are all ultra competitive in their own way, right? Like Prongs like Sam Bennet. He's like John Wentz. You don't know what's going to happen next, right? Like you don't know on Prongs what's happening next. But his competitiveness shows there, that fire. Drew Doughty, like, okay, so he gets beat. He's never going to get beat again, at least for the next 10 games if he gets beat. And you can see the fire. He thrives on that fire. Duncan Keith, ultra competitive. Ultra competitive, but competitive in a different way. He'll win his stick battles. He'll win his body battles. He's not going to run you through the end boards. He's going to strip the puck and go, and that's same with Al. Al's going to get the puck off. He's going to tip the puck away, and then he's going to make a 50-foot outlet pass. The next thing you know, it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Like that ability. There's that competitiveness to ultimately push themselves to be the best. That to me, like, and we got a guy, the best kept secret, I think, in the NHL, or the worst kept secret, is Gustav Horst.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's a machine.
Yeah.
This guy is like, he is absolutely, you pick up on waivers. He is a defenseman that's got ability to jump up in the play. He's an unbelievable skater. He's got a great stick. His hockey sense is, it's friggin' elite. To be able to kill plays with his stick, with his skating ability, and how he closes. And it's funny, we said to him at the end of the series, we go, hey, Forrest, you were only -2 in chances. It was -2? What do you mean against McDavid? -2? There's no frickin', I want a recount. Like he's that, like he goes, he didn't get the better of me. I got the better of him. Like, that's Forrest. And he's a low maintenance guy, but he is such a dream to coach because he just wants to be the best. And that, like we talked about earlier, you want to be the best. And Mikkola, like you guys saw him in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like this guy is just, he has no idea how good he can be. Like he really doesn't, because he's last year was outstanding. Like for us to get him on that deal for 3 years, he's only going to get better and better.
Yeah.
He's only going to get better and better. He understands who he is, what he has to do. And Sylvain Lefebvre has done an unbelievable job with him in terms of, he's a funny guy. He is a funny guy. And we got a lot of Finns on our team, and he's a funny Finn, boy. Like it's awesome. It's awesome. And you saw him kind of grow up in front of you, and now we're reaping the benefits. So thank you for that.
No doubt.
Hey, listen,
No doubt.
and people who have been close to Florida the last couple of years have been telling me, like, hey, this Forsling, this guy is unbelievable. If he ever becomes a free agent, like, I mean, he was a secret, but is he what he is now? You go back to the beginning of last season, like when you got there and whatever, like what's been the biggest area of improvement for him? Or did you notice this right off the bat?
Well, we got him back to, when obviously the Joel Quenneville era, in terms of, we're not necessarily a pinching team. We're more of a swinging team. We want to make sure we eliminate time and space with our angles, with our skating ability. We don't want to be stepping up, so we leave ourselves vulnerable in that sense of it. If you got a chance to step up on a guy, well, yeah, step up, have an impact on it. But like his ability to skate and close with all our defensemen, even 2 years ago with all our defensemen from that time, we made sure that skating was a big part of it in terms of closing, in terms of playing a tight gap game, in terms of getting up the ice. So his area of improvement, no, he had all the tools. We just helped guide him and play a system that helps him flourish in those situations. So, it's like Aaron Ekblad, it's like Radko Gudas, Gudas is phenomenal for us last 2 years ago. Like
so
he's
good.
Like Abdullah the Butcher, for crying out loud, but you love him. Like he's just an unbelievable human, but an unbelievable competitive guy that got the most out of what he had.
Gudas fights bears with his bare hands in his off time,
He scared me in the minors, man. I'm like, this cat's going to hit me with one. I don't get the puck much, but when I do, he's going to step up and kill me. He was a scary dude.
Funny story about Radko. So I'll take you back. So my first or second, maybe it was my second development camp in LA. So we get on the ice, and this guy, we're getting this Radko Gudas to come in. He's on vacation in Spain right now or something. I'm like, well, how's it? He's got no equipment. He's got no nothing, but we're flying him over because we think we have a chance to possibly draft him or sign him as a free agent. And so he gets into the development camp, and he's got somebody else's skates on, and he's just a wrecking ball. Like he's freaking all over the place. He's been on vacation, everything like that. And by the end of it, I had some conversations with him, and I'm going, this guy is going to be a force. Like he's not a very big guy, but he's a thick individual that just understands what he needs to do to be effective in his role. And it took him some time to get where he needed to get to, but boy, he's an identity player on your bottom pairing, or he can play some top 4 minutes if you need him in a pinch, but bottom pairing and killing penalties and sacrifice and team and room and everything like that. So fast forward now, so he was 18 years old at the time. Fast forward now to 2 years ago when we got there, and he's like, you remember me? I go, absolutely, Radko. Give a big hug. And it's like, we're back together again. And it's like, he's just such a great human and such a great person in the locker room to keep things loose. And we were sorry to see him go, but we were happy for him and his family that, he got what he deserved. Obviously, as you get along in your career, you want to make sure that you're able to contribute in different ways and earn what you deserve. And he got what he deserved, and now he's in Anaheim, and he's helping them rebuild and retool with the young personnel that they have. So kudos to him.
Yeah, I mean, you see that. I mean, Montour got paid. That's what happens when you win.
Yeah,
I mean, the Lamborghini got paid a little bit, in Calgary. You want to see these guys be able to take care of themselves. It's funny you bring up development camp, because I know you weren't in LA yet, but I saw a video the other day of Crosby before he ever even got drafted, participated in LA Kings prospect camp, their development camp. I guess he was training there in the summertime in L.A. Andy Murray knew all the Shattuck guys too, so maybe that had a connection in terms of how they got those guys in there. But I loved development camp. As a coach, it's got to be fun for you to see these guys before they ever even become pros. Get a chance to see what they're all about.
Yeah, it is. It's a great introduction in a non-threatening environment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's their first introduction, or sometimes it's their second introduction to development camp, where it's just real lax. They understand it's not lax, it's intense, but at the same time, you can talk to them. You can have a conversation with where they're at and how they're feeling. And there's no NHL per se players there that are putting pressure on them. Oh, I got to live up to this, or I got to live up to that. It's not a tryout. It's just to see where they're at, to give them an introduction to what the Florida Panthers or what the LA Kings or what the Chicago Blackhawks or whatever team I've been with. It's that introduction to what we do and how we do things here. So when they come back in training camp, for those that do come back in training camp, there's a comfort level.
Yeah.
They know who the medical guys are. They know who the coaches are.
Sure.
They know who the equipment guys are. And it gives, and they know some players.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not sitting in the corner going, hey, how was your first training camp, Cam? And he's sitting in the corner going, holy cow.
Intimidating as hell. Intimidating, because Lou separated everybody too. So you had to earn your right to even be around the big boys. So it was tough, man. It was tough.
Yeah. So that's why. And you know what? And that's something to be said, because even when I did I learned from this. So when I went to Portland in the Western League, we had our development camp. So most teams have their introduction camp or in the summer. And I said, no, we're having it a week before training camp. So I get all these guys that are signed, or if not signed, protected. So I had like 25 kids come out that were coming to camp, and I'd say, okay, you guys are going to come in a week before. I'll let you know who we are. So there's no intimidation. We'll just go through practice, individual skills, come together. We'll do some things around Portland for 5 days. You get a couple days with your family, and then we'll have the main training camp that lasts 5 days. So you're there for 10 days.
Yeah.
I understand. But now when you get in the dressing room, you know 3 or 4 guys because they're in teams. So now you've got a comfort level. You know our equipment staff. You know the coaches. You know what to expect. So now when I say, hey, you can lead this drill because this is the drill we did last week, and the veterans are kind of looking and going, well, this kid's a rookie. Yeah, but he did the drill already. Yeah. Don't worry. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And so there's a little confidence that comes with it. There's a little, not a swagger, but there's, hey, I belong. Until they don't, because they're not able to sustain it because they're 15, 16 years old. Do you know what I mean? So
I would have fucked that drill up, by the way. Even if I would have done it, I would have messed it up so bad.
Oh yeah,
I'm just telling you.
He would have. Hey, did you like working with Daryl Sutter? Like, what was that experience like? And listen, you were still, I don't want to say a young coach, but you were still finding your way in the NHL, and you guys win the cup. And then a few days later, you're scrambling, trying to find the next move, right? Where you're going to coach next. How did that kind of set the tone for the rest of your career to kind of deal with a little bit of adversity? Was that good for you at the time, or was that difficult to deal with?
No, you know what? Every coach I've worked with has been unbelievable. And I'm being honest. I was 6 years in LA, and I learned from different coaches, whether it was Mark Crawford or Terry Murray, and Dean knew we needed a shot of something, and he knew Daryl was going to be the guy that he was wanted to bring in. And John Stevens and I were together with Terry on his staff, and we kind of didn't see it coming. All of a sudden we're in Boston, and we get called into to Dean's room and saying, hey, we're making a change. And, you never like to hear that. And the change is we're moving on from Terry, and we've got a new coach coming in, and we want you to take the team for the next 3 days or 3 games. And so it was different because I kind of never been through that in mid-season where you go through a coaching change like of that extent, where you have a team that, Dean built to win. And Daryl came in, and he was great. He laid it on the line. How Daryl is, it's you're responsible for this, you're responsible for this, you're responsible for this. And so I had no problem with Daryl, and in terms of what we did, and it was a different tone, it was a different atmosphere, but I loved every second of it because I learned, and that's how you learn. Yeah, every day. I've never worked a day in my life, guys. Let's be serious. Like, I love what I do. I have a passion for what I do. I jump out of bed in the morning. I'm excited about going to the rink. I'm excited about seeing the players. I'm excited about what are we going to learn today? Who am I going to talk to today? And so that was the same thing with Daryl. It was like, okay, I know I'm responsible for this, so I got to make sure that this is ready for, when I present to the team. And he gave me a lot of responsibility in terms of, our pre-scout, post-game, throughout the playoffs, throughout the regular season. So there was a lot going on along with working with the players. So, but I understand the game. Let's be honest. You look at the coaching changes that have happened in the last 2 years. Look at the revolving door. Like, coaches, a year and a half, year and a half, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. It's a win now. So you have to surround yourself with the right people. And the people that are your people. And now John and I, like, John came in. John's been a head coach before. Daryl said to me, he goes, I just want someone with head coaching experience. And I said, I understand that, Daryl. I have no problem with that. I understand that. And you got to surround yourself with the people that you believe in. You got your own guys. There's no ill will. There's never, we're fine. And I respect that, because in a situation where I would be, if I was the head coach, I would want to make sure that I was surrounded by the people that I knew, or people that I felt that were going to be right. And I was only with him from Christmas time until we won in June 11th. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful for my time with Daryl. And every time I see Daryl now, we're champions together. So that's the most important.
You're like, hi, Daryl. I got more rings than you.
Oh, snap.
I know you wouldn't say that. You got 3 of them now, though. And you're deserving of that. Going to work with Quenneville, though, getting back with him. First off, how excited are you to know that he's getting back in the league? Does that make you feel good to know that he's going to be able to coach again?
Yeah, absolutely. Joel gave me my opportunity. I owe Joel so much. So much. He thought enough of me in '97 to bring me into St. Louis. And him and Mike Kitchen, I am where I am because of them, because they nurtured me. They showed me. Jimmy Roberts was unbelievable to me. Him, Joel, Kitch. Roger was there for the first half of the year, Roger Nielsen, and I learned so much from them. And it was just incredible. And I'm indebted to Joel for giving me the opportunity, and then giving me another opportunity when he hired me in Chicago. So I am so excited for him and his family that he's back in the mix. And I'll tell you, it won't be long before you see him behind the bench. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What was it like being the video coach? Starting off like are those longer hours? Are you just watching and stopping and starting and recording? Like that's a little bit difficult, right? Being a video coach.
It is. And, and it's funny because back then it was all VHS. So it wasn't like it is today. You could just open your laptop and away you go. It's VHS. So you're not doing anything on the plane. You can't do anything on the plane because where are you going to get a VCR first off? And so you got to wait till you get to your hotel room, or bring your trunk to the hotel. So,
in the morning.
but you're watching the game, and it was different with Joel. Joel would just need confirmation. He's so cerebral, and he sees the whole ice. It's crazy. He sees things that, like, you're watching from the press box. So it was more of confirmation and more of, what was going on, how things happened. He might want to see some things. And Kitch and I would, basically try and encourage him to show a little bit more video, but he was so good at being able to, like Paul, to be able to articulate an idea and get it across over the board. And there are times where he would have video, but for the most part, he was on the other side of it. But you watch different things. You watch tendencies of players. There's some certain players now you just turn on the game. You watch, oh, this guy got called up. What's this guy about? Before it was, hey, this guy got called up. Who is he? What does he do? Like, and when a tougher player gets called up, you're like, Tony, I got Tony Twist, I got Kelly Chase, Rudy Posek in my office going, hey, what's this fight from last night? And I tee it up. He goes, I go, this was it. You know, so those type of things, it's invaluable to those players back then. And then the pre-scouts, just doing power play and penalty kill. And now, as an assistant coach, you are almost a video coach because you deal with players play. Like I said to you earlier, players want to learn. And if you assume that the players, because they're the best players, you assume that they know, you're assuming wrong. You're assuming wrong because they want to learn. They want to be coached. And so we break down the game, and I'll break down the game in terms of a systems side of it for Paul, but also in terms of individual. So if I see individual things that we've talked about that we're doing right, then those will be reinforcers to the player. And then if there's something that needs to be addressed where it's happened a couple times over the previous couple games, then I'll put that on the video. Like there's only 10 clips or maybe 10, 12 clips at most for the player, and we'll go down and talk about it because today's game is not a dictatorship. It's a partnership. Mm-hmm. It is all partnership with these players. It's, you know, you're still the leader. You still have to right the ship, and you still have to coach. But at the end of the day, you have to let them know that they're a part of this and why they're a part of it and how important, why we're doing this and how this is going to help them in terms of the game, as opposed to before you say, jump, say, how high, you know, like it's go through the wall. How big do you want the hole? You know, like those type of days are over now. It's more of, you've got to talk to them as an equal because you got to get the most of them. You got to find ways to talk to them.
Hey, how much do you enjoy your time in Chicago, though, with Kane and Toews? And you left to go be a head coach in the Western League. What was the idea there? Were you thinking, hey, listen, if I'm ever going to be a head coach, I got to go be a head coach, and you wanted to get that experience? And are you glad you did that?
Well, part A, being with Taser and Kane were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like Marion Hosse, you can go on the list and like down that list is phenomenal. You're in awe. You watch those guys practice every day and the execution and like Kaner stick handling in a phone booth, you know, like, but how he worked at his game and how he wanted to get better. Nick Hjalmarsson, he reminds me, like, honestly, Nick Hjalmarsson and Gustav Forsling. Forsling's probably got more offense. He's got more offense than Hammer does, but the same idea, his swing-ins, his stick, his willingness to block shots, whatever it took. But like those guys, it was a treat to get on the ice every day with them and watch what they were going to do and how they were going to do it and what they were going to do. So it was really interesting there. And then when I left, I talked to a few teams prior to just about head coaching opportunities. And they said, well, you haven't been a head coach for 10, 12 years, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay. And then it was time where, you know, if I wanted an opportunity, if something came about where it was the right fit or the right opportunity for me, I wanted to say, well, they can't say that I don't have head coaching experience. So that's why I took the opportunity to go to Portland, and I don't have any regrets at all. I know Chicago ended up winning a cup the year later. It's that doesn't matter. The experience that I got from it, the relationships that I formed, the players that I coached, and just the experience of being behind the bench and making trades and being the GM and riding the buses, like I have no regrets at all. And I'd do it again. Like it was, if I never got a job in the NHL after I was in Portland, when I was in Portland and I just stayed there, I'd be content because I enjoyed coaching those young players, to see them grow, to see them, want to get better, to see them trying to attain their goal of making the next level. And for me to be able to help them or be a small bit of it was huge.
Would it be, I feel like if I'm a head coach, I'd want to coach in the CHL rather probably than the American League. And I don't know if there's a big difference if somebody's going to evaluate you, what would be better. But do you agree with that? Like coaching junior kids and kind of going through that schedule rather than being in the American League? I know they're both a grind, especially in the Western League.
And you know what? The one thing is that you've got stability with your junior team because your players are not moving, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not getting up and down, going up and down.
Yeah, man.
So sometimes you're at the mercy of the big club. So in terms of what they have or trades or injuries, and someone goes down, all of a sudden you lose a player, and then you lose another player, and then you lose another player, and now you're scrambling to try and find a player at a lower level to come up and, stop the bleeding, or at least fill in for how many games. And then sometimes it's longer than that. But that also makes you a good coach, because of the fact that now you've got to adapt. How do you adapt? How are you able to do this? I found that coaching in junior, it was interesting, because all these players, like you come into a situation where you're getting some of the best players as 16, 17-year-olds, and they've played on their own teams respectively, and they all want more. And they all want more, and they all think they can do more. But as soon as they start realizing their pay grade and where they really should be, but where we can get them to, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest challenge. And that was a good challenge, because you have to talk to them. Like, okay, so you were the great player as your 16-year-old team, but you're playing against 20-year-olds now. These are men. These are men that you're playing against. So you're starting in this role here. You're going to learn how to play without the puck, because you played with the puck for 16 years. Now you're going to learn how to play without the puck. Once you learn how to play without the puck, then maybe we got something. Then maybe we can go. Then maybe you can move up. But you've got to learn to play this way first, because we all know everyone loves to play at the puck. But how do you play without the puck? And that's what's going to get you to the NHL. And that's what's going to keep you in the NHL, and not for a cup of coffee. So it's about developing those habits. And the great thing is that I coached I had 4 guys that were on my team in Portland, in Winnipeg.
Oh, really?
3 guys on my team in Portland. Sorry, 3 guys, 1 guy that I coached against. So for them to come back, and I'm just going, remember, this is important. And they all come back to me and they go, you told me that day 1 of training camp. You said this is important, that this is important to make it to like the next level. And I said, yeah. And then what else is important? Well, your wall work, because 80% of the game to 85% of the game is played dot to board ice. So if you learn how to win those battles and learn how to pull pucks and learn how to do that, well, then that gets you on the ice. So it's just that process to go through to make them have that trust, build that trust with.
Yeah,
interesting.
I wanted to keep you for a few more minutes, man.
You've been awesome, Jamie.
I got to ask you about so many guys, but I want to ask you about Dustin Byfuglien.
Oh, yeah. People always ask us about him.
I mean, how do you look at this guy and you're like, wow. I mean, he's like maybe the biggest player you've ever coached, but he's so athletic. He can do so many things at his size. It was actually a shame to see him walk away from the game when he did. Although it's good for him if he was ready to call it quits and do something else. But coaching a guy like that, you just throw him out there. Did he ever get tired too? Was he a guy that would never get tired, or no?
Well, he paced himself. He was, like all the misnomers about Buff. Like, Buff is such a fun-loving guy. Like, he's a throwback guy that he just wanted to play. And probably one of the biggest things is everyone thought he was aloof, this and that. His hockey sense was really good. Like, some of the stuff that he did and the plays that he saw. And the one thing that really, really was not shocked. It's not shocking, but the great thing about Buff is that he challenged himself in practice. So he would never go against, not never, but he would end up going against some lower level players. But he wanted Wheeler and Scheifele every time 2-on-1s, every time 3-on-2s, because it was like taking candy from a baby, he'd always say, I want to play against these guys because I want to challenge myself. I don't want to give them anything. And you know what? That's how you get to be the best, right? That's how you challenge yourself. Yeah, so when practice was over, the whistle blew, practice over. Yeah, he'd be the first guy gone. He'd be gone fishing or gone hunting or sitting in his deer stand, but that's Buff. Who cares? He did his work on the ice. He did his work off the ice the way it went. But that was the great thing about Buff. He practiced hard. So if he's practicing hard, the rest of the players have to practice. There's no in between. We have a skate, he'd skate, and he'd skate hard. And it's a shame that Buff didn't continue on, because I thought there was more. He had more. And, unfortunately he got a bad injury He had a high ankle injury that really shelved him, and he just couldn't train. He couldn't get back to where he needed to be. And there was there's some downtime, too much downtime for him. And it was just mentally, it was hard for him because he wanted to be out there. He wanted to play. And I'll tell you, to be that size, to be that agile, to be that dominant, like he just take the puck and okay, away he went. Like I remember the series we played against St. Louis, and it was a great series, but he just went around the net, did a cut back, put the puck off the side of the goalie's head, and away we are. We're 1-0. You know, like it's like for him to recognize that. It's just those are the things or the plays that he makes, and then the hits. Like he doesn't even have to hit you. He just has to stand there because you run into him. It's like that's 265 pounds of a big man hitting whoever it was. It could be a big man. They're going down.
Didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
He'll hurt you.
Hey, I don't know if you ran the power play in Florida or not, but I mean, you guys ran it to such perfection. I mean, from the half wall with Barkov down to Matthew to the slot to Reinhart. Reinhart, like, what were your projections for him? Like coming into the season, like, did he just completely exceed what you guys expected from him from a goal scoring standpoint? And is this who he is? I mean, are you guys coming in next year being like, okay, this guy's a 50-goal scorer, or we got to pump the brakes a little bit, maybe not over-exaggerate the bar, and, you know, maybe he careered it this past year, but he's a hell of a goal scorer, but he does it in a quiet fashion, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean, you know, talk too much about him, but then you look at his numbers, man, he's an unbelievable goal scorer.
Well, you just go back on his career and you look, he's never been below, I think he was 1 year, maybe his rookie year, he was below 20.
Yeah.
Right? He's consistent 30 goal scorer. So when you're a consistent 30 goal scorer, you're going to have a year where you get 50. Well, maybe not 57, but you know, you get those kind of numbers because of the fact that he's a very smart player. He's probably he's like IQ wise, like he understands the game. He sees the game. He knows the game. He knows the spots. He's got a terrific release, a great shot. He may not be the most fleet-footed guy, but I'll tell you something, what a player. And last year, so you have to understand, last year we had different dynamics on 2 years ago, I'm sorry, with different line combinations. So Reinhart never played with Barkey. He never played with Sam Bennet. And he played with Luosterainen and Lundell. And that was the best kept secret because those three guys, like I think the biggest hurdle we had, Luosterainen blocked a shot against Carolina and broke his leg. So he couldn't come back for the finals. So that line was nearly not as effective. Like that's an old throwback checking line that can score. Like those three guys together, like Rhino scored 30 goals with those guys. And that's the line he was on. And so we had, you know, our top six somewhat set in terms of who we had up there. Rhino could pop up in that, but we liked him in that hole because they were dominant defensively. They were all real cerebral defensively, but offensively, you go out against the top players and they dominate them. The whole time was in their end. So Rhino came back and he hit it wasn't because it was his contract year or anything, but he came back and he was the top three fittest guys. And he was middle of the pack the previous year, came back top three. And it showed because he wanted to show that he's not only on that line, that he could play with Barkey. And he can, you know, we tried it the previous year, but it was a 10 gamer and then it would kind of go away. So we wanted to make sure that we put him in he still played a ton of minutes being in the 3-hole. It didn't matter. He still played a ton of minutes, but it was just, he got himself in elite condition and he sustained it throughout the year. And then obviously, opportunistic, power play, shorthanded goals, 5-on-5 goals. He came up clutch. Ranger series scoring that power play goal. That was, you know, like that's Rhino. He comes through in big games. Game 7, comes down the wing, finds the hole. Yep. Like that's goal scorers find that.
After you almost got scored on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Big turn of events, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you gonna do with the cup?
Well, we're taking it to my hometown.
Oh,
So
good for you.
it's
Have you
never
have you
been
done that before or no? Because you brought it
No.
here your first time.
Yeah, it went here, and then it went to Niagara Falls, the Niagara region, for my family, and now it's going to go up to my extended family up in Thunder Bay, and so I know the Stalls had it up there, and I know Tony Herkus, who was my former teammate, had it up there. Carter Hutton had it up there. So, but I think it's time it goes back there, and my cousins and everyone get an opportunity to celebrate, and my wife's family from Edmonton gets a chance to come down and celebrate.
Oh, they're from Edmonton? Your wife's family? How are they handling the Stanley Cup final?
Well, they're not invited, so no, I'm just joking. No. They, you know what? It was divided loyalty, but it was good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, you're allowed to hope for whoever you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as the good guys win in the end.
No shit.
Hey, I want to leave you with this, though, because you coached Walt and you coached Matthew. And it's an easy question to say, what are the similarities? But, I mean, maybe that's the first father-son combo that you've coached. Man, you're not that old, but, like, I mean, I don't know how many other father-sons that you've coached in the NHL, but what are some differences and similarities? And, like, even when they were younger, like, did you follow Matthew's career, like, prior to him getting to the U.S. program? Did you know that he was on this trajectory to eventually become an NHL star?
Well, okay. So the similarities, both ultra competitive, both great sticks, big body guys, go to the net, go to the dirty areas. Brady's the same way, like you see those similarities, and it's no, Keith probably was a better skater in terms of more natural skater to get going, but Matthew's no slouch also. So in Kirkwood, Ken Davies, his son Michael, played at DU, but he was on the same teams as Matthew. So every time I go watch Michael play, I'd end up seeing Matthew. So I knew that Matthew had a gift. He had ability, and I'd always watch. I was, I followed him for sure. I followed him. I like everybody's kid. I had Dominic Turgeon, who was my captain in Portland. When and Pierre and I still keep in touch. He actually lives in Florida, and we skate together. So like it's a small hockey's such a small world that you keep in contact with all those people that have touched you or you've had the opportunity to be with. So Matthew's trajectory definitely, and then watching him, like I said, so I'll share something with you guys. It was pretty special when we traded for Matthew. I'm not sure if I kind of got into the mix a little late. I was still in Winnipeg trying to get everything sorted out, getting our house packed up. And then I found out we got Matthew. So right away I got Matthew on text, and I go, thank God. Because being in Winnipeg for 6 years and playing against him, being a rival and everything like that, it's pain in the freaking, what. And so, after so long, I said, I'm very grateful that I get an opportunity to coach you now, as opposed to be on the opposite side of the bench and piss us off the whole time. And his response was, I'm excited. Let's go win a cup.
There it is.
And that text message says it all. Let's go win a cup. And so when I hugged him on the ice, it was like 2 years. We did it. Like, he was so appreciative. Matthew, just being Matthew, and his family, his dad, and watching everyone. It was just, like I said, just take a step back and watch everyone. The pure emotion was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
They're the best, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, congratulations, Jamie.
You're the best, Jamie.
You've always been great, but but your career, I mean, honestly, we just scratched the surface on some of the great players you coached. We didn't even get that much into Toews and Kane and Hossa and some of these guys from your Chicago days and your LA days, and then obviously what you're doing in Florida and in St. Louis, the Hall of Famers that you were around back then too. So you had a great career. You got a long way to go.
You do, man.
What's the next step? Do you want to be a head coach? Do you think about that, or are you good kind of doing what you're doing right now?
You know what? I'm just trying to take this all in, and when I say it, like I said, I get shivers thinking about it because you guys are talking about it. And I think you guys know me well enough that I don't like being ever being in the spotlight. I like just kind of doing what I do. And it's hard to believe. It's kind of surreal the way this has all happened. And just seeing everybody, and even talking to my mom and brother, and they're talking about how proud they are and everything like that. And it's kind of surreal. It really is. And, you know, in answer to your question, if there's something was to come up where it was the right fit, I think it's more about fit and about opportunity. I just don't want to take something to say I took it, because we have a great situation in Florida, and I got a great chemistry with and synergy with Paul, and our coaching staff is phenomenal there. They all do a great job, and Paul delegates so well. We'll just take it one day at a time, and I'm just trying to enjoy this moment and trying to recognize like what just really happened, because when you guys talk about it, and I know we're friends and I know that we have relationships, but at the same time, I really appreciate the kind words and everything, but it just kind of hits home sometimes. Man, you know, I wish I really, at the end of the day, I wish my wife's mom and dad were here to see it, and I wish my dad was here to see it so that I could just share it with them.
They know, man.
They know. They're watching.
Hey, you keep it going, Jamie.
Yeah.
We're proud of you too, man. Hey, you're one
Everybody
of us.
respects you, man.
You're like a St. Louis guy, even though you're not from here. You always come back and do your camp and everything. We used to skate back in the day. You're very dirty. I mean, this guy's one of the dirtiest players out there.
He just lost the puck.
No, he's slashing me.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Cam.
Slashing and hooking is what you were doing on me.
He didn't hook and clutch, dude. He didn't hook and clutch, trust me. He'll outskate you. Jamie, you're the man. Enjoy yourself. Yeah. Enjoy
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you having me on, and I really appreciate the kind words, okay? You take care of yourselves, and I'm sure we'll touch base soon.
Yeah, have a great time this summer. We'll see you, buddy.
Soon. Later.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Jamie Kompon. Again, great story, man. Great coach, very intelligent, very smart. And there's a reason why the smartest coaches in NHL history want this guy on their staff. So big
great
shout
guy
out
too.
to him.
Great, unbelievable shape. He's in unbelievable shape.
Yeah, I know. I love that conversation with him.
Sometimes you might as well just be an assistant coach. So like, dude, you got it pretty good.
Dude,
I don't even want to do anything.
I don't want to deal with everything else.
No, I like being buddies with the guys too a little bit.
You know
more
what assistant coaches want? You know what they want?
They
you want to know what they want?
Job security?
No, they want the salary of the head coach. That's what they want.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that maybe, or they want to be in complete control. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's more
control's a big part of it too.
They want to have the last decision on everything. No, I know more. Let me do this. I know the way we should do face-offs in the D zone. Blah blah blah. They want to be in control. They want the money. They want to be the man. But sometimes it's nice just to fucking coach for 30 years, be an assistant coach, make good money.
I agree.
Not have the stress.
I agree.
Don't get fired.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to pick you up if you get fired. If you do get fired, somebody's going to grab you.
Yeah.
Because you're an assistant coach. Like they're easier to hire. And then you have an easier just a relationship with the guys.
Yeah.
You know, you're more like, what's going on with you? You know, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Listen, last week we told a great story at Illinois Recovery Center.
Yeah.
There's a guy who, from Michigan, listened to us on the podcast. Now is doing great, and then about to get released and do 30 days inside this rehab facility. And he said he's never felt better. He said he's been to 7 different facilities.
7 different ones.
And he's never been to one like this.
Yeah.
Where they actually...
He's like, I heard you guys talk about Chrissy and Eric, and I had to go down there. And he's like, I've never felt so good in my life.
And they actually care about you, you know?
Yeah, that's what he noticed.
That's what he said. He said they actually care about you.
Yeah, he was dead serious on that.
100% serious. So Illinois Recovery Center, check them out, IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Hey, get these tank tops from Bench Clears, man. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. You're going to save 20%. They got a deal though going on right now. Check it out though. Look at their website. Use our promo code, but ask if you can apply it maybe to buy one get one 50%.
I know,
because some of these are buy one get one 50% off. I saw it on their website.
They're like, "Where'd you get that?"
I know.
Dude, I said Bench Clears. I should have said it louder, but we tagged it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Bench Clears.
Yeah, Bench
you get
Clears.
all these, man, and they got all kinds of other stuff too. This is perfect. Yeah. Perfect for the summer.
NHL certified.
Yeah, baby.
And American League too. They got all the American League teams.
They got all the alternative jerseys, too. They got everything.
They got everything.
Bench Clears. Check them out, benchclears.com, man. Great to have them on board. Hat Launch, man. Hey, America's #1 source for hats in the country is where?
What's that?
America's #1 source for customized hats is where?
Hat Launch.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I know. That's what we're telling the
yeah,
people.
It's a trick question.
Why would that be a question? Why would you ask me why would you fucking give me a trivia
I'm
question?
having you
we
tell
know.
the people. Well,
we know.
You
They
got to
know
tell
that.
the people.
It's Hat Launch.
So tell them about Hat Launch.
They're the best of the best. That's why all the big dogs use them. Not to mention, you can get that Yoink hat everybody's been texting me about. If you want that, it's there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You know.
Tell them you want a little Camistrick logo on there. They'll throw that on there for you, probably, too.
I mean, but whatever. I mean, if you want to do that, I guess they could probably do anything. But
it's a customized hat, dude. They'll make it for you.
Yeah. So that's Hat Launch right there.
They're not going to say we can't do it.
Best in the business. Best in the business.
Danny and Jordan, man.
We love you guys.
Hope you had a great 4th of July. Shilly Plastering, man. Cam, get plastered with Shilly Plastering.
Oh, well.
Been around since 1950.
A lot of experience right there.
The only authorized Pebble Tech company.
His dad coached me in AAA too. Big Dave, give a little shout out. What's up, baby?
Said you
Let's
didn't
go.
back check.
Let's go.
Said you didn't back check.
I might have been a diva at that time, but my bad. My bad on that. But no, I did probably back check.
You weren't back checking.
I think I worked pretty hard. Well, it worked out. I mean,
Only authorized Pebble Tech applicator in the Midwest.
right on.
You won't find another one.
No, they're the best in the business.
Turn your backyard into a paradise with Shilly Plastering. Say hi to Ryan and everybody.
Ryan, what's up?
And
Tell the
Marcy?
family I said, hey, Marcy,
Marcy?
what's going on? All y'all. Yeah.
Say hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cam at Bellman, you get no?
Swinging dicks. None of that shit.
No.
They got good product, man. They got all kinds of stuff.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side, all located
Troy, Missouri.
in Troy.
Troy, Missouri.
It's a hop,
right
skip,
there.
and a jump from St. Louis. Say hello to Danny Boy and
Danny, Dale, Kenny.
Kenny.
I know you guys had a good weekend.
all
I know
y'all.
you did. All you guys. I bet you they got places at the league.
Oh, probably so. They
You
probably
keep chirping it, so I'm just
I'm
telling you.
not
Someone-
chirping, I'm
No,
chirping
you
you.
do because
I'm chirping you.
Everything's Hoosier with Andy because he doesn't go outside the the 270 belt. So like anything out there, he's probably like, oh God, it's scary. No, man, it's cool down there.
I was just in
Cool.
British
A lot of
Columbia.
people have
Just-
boats, man.
Just in British
Yeah,
Columbia.
you gotta, yeah, okay. You went to British Columbia, you hiked around a little bit. All these guys got boats, man. They love the boats. They love the water. It's the coolest thing in the world, and it is what it is. So you're a little chirpy poo, just so you know, a lot of these cats got boats.
I
They
love,
do.
I love the boats.
I know you do.
And I've rented boats in the past. I have a driver
God, I know.
who drove me around Lake Tahoe.
He's a captain, this guy. He'll captain your boat for you.
Go to Bellman.com today.
Yeah.
Of course, our friends over at Proper Cannabis, man. Use our promo code Camistrick20. That's going to save you 20%. Welcome aboard, Ryan. Everybody over there, Craig. Everybody over at Johnny, JP. Everybody over at Proper, man. Welcome to the team here at the Camistrick Podcast.
Right here.
Proper Cannabis, propercannabis.com. Check that out. Best customer service, 11 stores statewide now. And even if it's not a proper store, chances are they sell the proper products. They've got help with sleep, pain, arthritis, whatever you're looking for,
Anything
man.
you need.
So check that out. Best of the best in terms of the products they have. The Honeybee Edibles, the Ratio, the Good Night, that New Growth Horizon Charitable Foundation, too. Look into that, man. Support a great charity with the New Growth Charitable Foundation. First Form at firstform.com. Use our link, firstform.com/Cam&Strick. Get one of these bad boys. These energy drinks got me through the weekend. I'll tell you
Oh
that
my
right
God,
now.
yeah, man.
Got me through the weekend.
Yep.
Get yourself some apparel, whatever you're looking for. Firstform.com. So check that out. We thank Jamie Kompon for joining us, man. And we got some good ones coming.
We got some good
up.
ones coming, guys.
We
Trust
got
me.
some good ones coming.
We got some good ones coming, and there's gonna be some good live shows too.
Yeah.
With some guys coming back in town.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
we got some monsters coming on.
Yeah, looking forward to
Right
it.
on,
man.
guys.
So follow us on Instagram, all our social media channels, and hey, welcome our new sponsors on board as well. Shilly
Yeah,
Plastering,
yeah.
check them out.
Reach out
Proper
to them.
Cannabis.
Follow them online. Order from from their website, and
Yeah.
of course
Bench Clears, baby.
BenchClears/Cam&Strick, man. They'll take
Hey,
care
remember,
of
if you send us a picture of supporting any of our sponsors,
Yeah.
then we'll send you an autograph puck.
you. Yeah.
I
Of
will.
Andy.
I will.
At Parkway North Puck.
I'll
Yeah,
send you
just
a
show
puck.
it. You gotta support the sponsors, man. You know how it goes. Love you guys. Be cool.
Peace.
See ya.